Okay, well, for a bit I'm just going to be trying to make sure that my stream's actually working this time, but altogether, if anyone comes to show up, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to be vibing myself and just vibing by myself and trying to learn this Serpent Temple, because I am really not great at it. But I mean, I enjoy it. All the same. One moment while I'm just making sure of my settings. Okay, so I'm basically just going to be, as I mentioned, trying to do some of the Serpent Temple runs to see if I can get some decent clears on them. I have all these options, but personally I would prefer to try and get Serpent Temple done. So yeah. Okay, so I'm basically just going to be... Sorry about that. Have the stream in the background trying to make sure that I'm not having a massive delay, because at one point I had a really bad delay on my video, on my stream, and it was not the most friendly thing. I think I'm going to go this path to get the double relics down there. I could go this path, get 2 attributes, single weapon upgrade, a question, and that, but both are tempting actually. Now that I think about it, attributes would benefit me the most, so I'm going to go with it. Okay, so if you saw at the beginning I got 1,000 gold, my blessings are going to be pretty constant with what I do, which is just additional 1,000 gold, 120 curse barrier rather than 100, and champions drop 5 instead of 2. This one isn't all that helpful since I'm still doing the earlier missions, but it'll guarantee me some additional rewards, which are usually pretty powerful. I took a blazing sword, altogether pretty okay. This is just a basic shield, but I really appreciate the 25% auto parry and a heavy weapon. A lot of this is probably going to be me trying to get better at parrying, because parrying is what I am missing for the most part. And there we go. Okay. Pretty lucky dodge there out of some of the effects. So my strategy is mainly just going to be focused on dealing with what I can. I can just unlock enemies like this, which works pretty well. Took a very unnecessary hit there while I was changing my audio settings, but, you know, what can you do? Altogether, it's a very good item. I don't actually know why I'm taking damage there. I believe it's because I took a hit by that enemy, which caused a dot effect, but stay lucky. These poison statues I have seen before, but I didn't notice those down there. Yeah. Serpent Tumble so far has just been a lot of learning, trying to get used to all the traps and such. I keep taking a lot of fairly bad hits, but I'll get it down. Should have realized that was poisonous, yeah. But yeah, a lot of this learning process is going to be a lot of pretty bad situations. And now that I'm looking at it, the fire sword may not have been the best choice, because I'll accidentally trigger that a lot. But you know, you live and you learn. I did see those last time. Very wonky. Just gonna dodge on through and take the chest. Finisher's weaken, sure, may as well. The 1 perception could have been nice, but just having a better heavy weapon secondary, two-handed, sorry, weapon is good and, or is more worthwhile than the 1 perception in my opinion. That is just another route over to here, and I can continue forward. Sorry. altogether, this gold set has been very powerful. I got another minus 25% corruption. Very nice. Obviously going to go for the attributes here, because I have an excessive gold. I'm just altogether working towards that. But yeah. That leads to another room. Just trying to make sure I get all that I can from these areas before I pass forward. There we go. I should probably make use of that effect there a bit more. This fire sword comes with, when I'm out of stamina, I'm able to just automatically crit, but that comes with a pretty big intrinsic risk of being out of stamina, so unable to dodge. My parrying capabilities aren't quite up to par yet, or as far as I'd prefer. I'll light him on fire and then just combo him. Because yeah, when you're at low stamina, about all that you can do is parry to try and get out of bad situations. Right there, I could have swapped that relic for a bit of perception, I believe that was, but on the other, or sorry, a bit of health, but both of them are pretty short term. It's one of those relics that you'll replace quickly, but it's also something that holds value in the current time. That shoots out flaming ones, that's actually quite nice. But yeah, if I can get an effect on this shield, for example, just about anything, bonus damage against fire, healing, corruption, reduction, and so forth, I'll get a pretty big benefit. This is currently my main damage source. The sword dealing fire is a nice backup, but I'd prefer not to have to rely on it. One thing I'm always going to stress with these shrines is early on, attributes you're always going to want to pay with gold as much as possible, because they stay the same cost in curse, but always go up in gold. And so if you run into as many attributes as you can throughout your map, like I could hit up to 3 more, it's always going to be 40 on each. You saw it was 40 for both attributes there, it'll be 40 here, and 40 on every one, but the gold will go up by about 500 per thing, or per attribute gained, so it's just a thing to watch out for. That is the exit. Is there another room over here? I see the traps. But... well, that was really dumb mistake of mine. Let's say la vie. I can see a couple enemies here. I'm just gonna want to do my little strategy here. Try and get rid of this enemy as fast as possible. Got an auto parry there. I really messed up my dodge, and I need to start focusing on what I said I would, which is trying to learn how to parry. Because my panic reaction is to just dodge, and sometimes I don't quite have that stamina for it. I see a couple enemies up there, a couple poison, and the only enemies seem to be up there, so I can just tag it or target them first. Yeah. I really like the shield weapons in this game because they present a very powerful opportunity. All of the secondary weapons have the opportunity to just... I like this too much to give, or to take the blazing sword. This weapon is one of my favorites, but as I was saying, the shields just have one of the easier combos in my mind to trigger the stun effect, or the interrupt effect, I should say. But yeah. Their interrupt effect is on any slightly charged button or right click. But yeah, the reason why I really like the Sacrificial Machina is because it deals critical when there's only one enemy nearby, which I don't know why it was... that's why it wasn't dealing critical, but yeah. I've also come to the realization that I gave up my two-handed that could break walls, and I didn't get a new one. I'm not quite sure if that can break it. I don't think it can, but I may as well try. Yeah, I got a direct hit there and it didn't break. So yeah, I assume that was just an extra room for additional drops. An unfortunate thing I'll have to pass up, but not much I can do. more stats here. As you can see, it went from 750 to 1500, but still 40 curse. Gonna pay up the last of my gold here for those bonuses and move on. Gotten Constitution and Perception both times, which massive health boost is nice, especially with how much bad damage I've taken. Perception is generally just okay. I haven't had many builds benefit too heavily from Perception, but obviously if you get a dagger with bonus damage from Perception, it's always nice to have. And the additional gold on some builds is definitely a benefit, but plus 0% damage right now is a bit unfortunate since I've gotten no dexterity buffs. See here, just auto-critting when they're the only enemy there. There was a couple enemies here which apparently got counted in frame, but other than that, yeah. I think for the most part I'm just going to make use of this shield charge to stun lock enemies just whenever possible. To make it easy, those enemies in specific at least, because their summoning is a bit obnoxious. More corruption reduction. Not going to be making very many gold offerings yet. I have 3 relic slots filled and have only 1 relic upcoming, up to 2, so I could just ignore this, but I mean, any kind of corruption reduction would be nice. Do I think I'll get 10 out of this? Probably not though, so I'll take the free 6. For me, a lot of things are just evaluating the cost-benefit, basically. I could jump over there, but I decided to go this because I assume it's just more rooms. But would it be better to hold it on and maybe get a 10 corruption reduction or 20, or is it more worth it to just take the free 6 while I can? And I decided it was more worth it for the free 6. Don't know how far that statue sees me. But yeah, with the snake dead, it's just this, and I can kill it pretty quickly. As you can see, the Sacrificial Machina dealing pretty absurd damage with guaranteed crits with only 1 enemy. Obviously, it's only level 1 in a very basic form with no secondaries, but, you know, if I can upgrade it at the coming upgrade station, or just in general find a better one, there's always room for improvement. As you can see here, we get some pretty massive amounts of gold. Nice thing about the shield is how easily it is to hit multiple targets with it. As you saw there previously, I had just been chaining hits on it. I will take the bonus damage for whips, because while it won't help me yet, it will help me soon. Or, I shouldn't say soon. It prevents a pretty big opportunity for me, because swapping this out for a whip would be just a generally decent upgrade, though I should parry more. That was my goal here. Did I miss the upgrade station? Or is this not the... Oh, I'm currently at the gold, sorry. I was very confused for a moment there. Yeah, now I get the upgrade. But yeah, this is my second Serpent run. My first one I killed the first boss and just kind of had to end stream there because it was getting pretty late for me. But yeah. I don't know what exactly caused the poison there, but now that I see it, there's a poison cloud there, which I should have paid attention to. Yeah, getting used to these poison clouds is definitely going to be a bit of an experience, because I know it's there and I keep walking into it very slightly. Yeah, these enemies seem to just be able to chain die, which is quite nice. This appears to be one of the arena-style rooms for this area, which is good to know. Able to wrap it up pretty well, the only damage taken being from the massive poison clouds there. I'm not too sure if they respawn. I believe they do after a couple seconds of breaking them, but yeah. I'm gonna break them, see if there's anything else in this room, which there appears not. And yeah, here's my upgrade. This is indeed a sword, so I could get a 20% bonus damage on this, which would be pretty nice. 30% damage against elites. I'm not planning to use this two-handed weapon for elites and champions and such, so yeah. This 20% poison damage is very tempting. It's also a base 3 damage increase and a base 8 damage increase, sorry, 7 damage increase there, and then an additional 8. This would be the obviously better option, and I can always swap out my main weapon. But if I am going for that 20% whip, it would be better to just stick with upgrading this, and honestly the 20% poison damage is just additional damage on top of what I'm doing. It's a bit of a tough decision there, honestly. They're both basic tier weapons. The only one would be this because it has a lot more room for improvement, but yeah, I can afford all of them, which is quite nice, but I still have to only choose one. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this and just focus on dealing damage with this until I get down to one enemy, in which case I can use the Sacrificial Machina, and its base damage will make up for it until I can find either an upgrade on it or a different one. So as we can see here, my belief that I wouldn't get enough benefit out of the relic was a bit misplaced, because I did indeed just do a gold purchase there. So, a bit of an unfortunate decision, but hindsight is 20/20 here, and that was how I felt at the time. I guess I just very much undervalued that relic. As you can see here, that damage increase is very nice altogether, just letting me deal significantly more damage with my shield as my main weapon. I thought I fully charged it there, but I apparently didn't. And now that this is the only enemy, I can kill it pretty quickly. I'm going to try and save that mushroom behemoth for last. I believe that's what they're called. Tomb Horrors, sorry, because high health obviously means it'll get the most benefit for me for just saving it till last to get auto crits on it. As you can see here, you can just stun off with shield. If you can do that for a little bit, but then you would have to obviously, or you would run out of stamina eventually, so you'd have the opportunity to just only do shield, in which case you have a long enough delay that you can charge up more stamina. This bow isn't all that great, this hammer isn't all that great, the sword's pretty okay, but obviously you're not getting much benefit out of this middle effect. The first effect is just okay, and this last one is obviously for a couple of enemies, but I do prefer the Sacrificial Machina enough that I'll pass over it and try for a reroll. Here's a Storm Lash, very powerful, 10% base damage, 1% for that, and it gets an additional 20% from my other effects. Specifically the relic that I have. I can pivot off of this shield to that. I lose a slight bit of damage, I think 2 damage there, but I gain and lose some. It basically invalidates my first upgrade, but it's also another gold upgrade. This kind of proves that point of I should have taken the 10 curse reduction relic when I could, but say it obvious. Creeping Gloom, I don't directly remember this one. You take damage and trigger your Wave of Darkness, and 10% damage in light. Cool. I have gotten that one before. Once again, I've only started playing again fairly recently, so I'm just getting used to a lot of things. I'm gonna take a quick break here while I go grab a drink of water. Excuse me for a moment. That should be me back. Sorry about that, a bit longer than I thought it would take. But yeah, here's me continuing on. The whip offers a different opportunity to interrupt attacks. It does it through that pull mechanism. Ooh, that priestess there really hurt. I thought I would have enough time to charge up and attack, but I did not. The whip, once again, I haven't had much practice with because I passed over the Serpent Temple update originally. So getting used to their ranges and such is a bit of a nightmare. As you see there, it feels like I should have hit, but it didn't. And yeah, the effect on it is electricity, a very powerful effect. Basically, you see these electric effects around the enemy. Whenever I do a charged attack, or a full combo, I believe it may be a finisher actually on them, it does an AoE lightning effect to all enemies in the room, which is very significant in a lot of cases. because it's basically just a pretty simple form of AoE outside of two-handed weapons. I'm not too excited for where exactly this run's going, because I'm not too sure if I'll be able to beat the first boss, because I have not gone against that boss enough to be able to say I'll kill it without a pretty powerful build beforehand. I wanted to go for the charge attack there to try and stun, but it was not worth it. As you can see there, I tried to backpedal a bit and then go for a parry. I obviously didn't need to parry, but I tried it. Poison attack, unnecessary for me, I'll take the free 4%. Here is where I really need to make sure I get useful things. None of these give very much benefit, so I'm going to use a favor. +1 on main weapon is okay. 30% crit, that's what I'm looking for, or this 2%, but this 30% is almost always going to be more important to me because of the fact of War Machina always, Sacrificial Machina always critting when I'm only against one enemy, which in a lot of cases is a boss, so I'm going to offer blood for it. Onyx Shards is just kind of the key part of using this main weapon, and even if I end up getting rid of the Sacrificial Machina, basically all weapons crit on their finishing, which is the end of their, or on their finishers, which is the end of their combo, so altogether it should be good. This is the boss room, yes. Okay. I do know that it leaves all these mines everywhere, and that is cursed. Fortunately, kept backpedaling there. I should have tried to parry it, because I'm not all too sure if you can. But yeah, I just didn't want to risk it, and it ended up costing me quite a lot. And as you can see here, my damage has pretty drastically gone up since grabbing the additional crit. I can indeed parry it, which is good to know. Got double hit there while I was trying to dodge. Didn't commit hard enough to dodging. It ended up costing me, as it did there and there. This boss is a bit rough without as good defensive capabilities as I would want. It's much easier, as I'm seeing now, to just parry the skulls as they come at you than to just dodge, but you can also do a combo of both. I believe, yep, you can destroy those, which I should probably pay better attention to. That was just bad damage there, getting too close, which bad damage is going to be something I say a lot. Bad damage for me is just literally any hit, and specifically, it's not as much bad damage now since I'm still learning the mechanics of the enemy, but getting hit by enemies that I have learned the mechanics for will be very much bad damage. If you know, the one thing with roguelikes, which I do definitely like, is that the way you improve is very straightforward, which is you learn how to fight the enemies better. Just trying to push for damage there, and I messed up, got punished for it, and yeah, one more hit would have got me. Got rid of the one curse, which I actually kind of liked, if in all fairness, because it's frequently active. I'm gonna take this for the 4 decks. I really need higher base damage. Perfect. Restore more. These 2 relics were really carrying me there, reducing the amount of corruption I received. So I think I'm gonna swap out this Perception relic early, though that 15 or 16% health is very tempting. Finishers deal critical, so this just guarantees that. I guess their finishers are just higher damage and a higher chance. I don't get much benefit out of this, but I do get benefits out of both of those. It's an overall damage increase, and gives more consistent. I should say it's less consistent crits than this, or the Sacrificial Machina, but it does give me opportunities, and I'm no longer using the shield that required me to have a sword, so I think I am going to take this. Minus 10% blood offering cost, very interesting. And 45%, this is what I'm looking for, these sorts of effects. swap this out. I really like this effect, just having so much more, so I'm gonna swap it out for that kind of filler one and take the 8% from this. If at all possible, I'd like to avoid going to one of the healing rooms. They're just kind of a loss in potential stats, though the optimal route, as I can see it, goes through healing rooms. So, I guess I'll go to one and take 1 or 2 heals. I get Cursed, Regulars. Cadaverous Infestation is unfortunate. I don't prefer it. It's pretty easy to avoid, especially when my torch is actually lit, because it makes all the bats run away, but it's just kind of an obnoxious effect to have in the background. I will take it twice. It's only 20 curse and I get healed to full. May as well, basically. It's one of those situations where there's no real downfall to doing it. There's just the in general benefit. Obviously I'd prefer not to, but in this case I'm not punished too harshly for going this route anyways, as I mentioned. So I've never been in this second segment, so a lot of the enemies are going to be new, or especially the elite versions of enemies are going to be new. As you can see there, that 155 crit after all that I've gotten is very nice. This thing I have no clue about. Yeah, that was just bad. I guess I assumed I had a shield for a second there mentally, and that led to me just being like, yes, I can charge this and get out scot-free. I just know I could not. Thought I had gotten out of range of that, but I haven't. Very good. So yeah, I'm very glad I took that extra health for sure. As you can see there, I lost a fair bit of HP in just this one room, 300 nearly. Which is unfortunate. It comes with learning any new sort of map, region, whatever you want to call it. Nearly got that enemy just instant killed, which I would have been very glad to get. I have no clue what that effect is exactly. I assume it's an aura that I don't want to deal with. As you can see there, the lightning effect triggered. Yeah. Dealt damage to both, and even in that case where it's only 2 enemies, it definitely provides a solid benefit. I'm going to give that up actually, just because I don't expect to be in excess of health at any time soon. Double hit there from the champion. Probably should have guessed it would have slightly worse, more unfriendly to me mechanics, they should call it. As you can see there, that lightning crit did a whole lot of damage to both enemies that it affected. I really need to just back up and take my time to regen stamina here. I'm obviously there facing the wrong direction because with mouse and keyboard, it may be different on controller, it locks my facing where I'm going. That whip is doing much better than I thought on the non-charged attack, so I may have to start doing that a lot more. I'm gonna take the 40 curse here for more health and more gold find. Gold find is becoming a bit unnecessary. It's probably gonna lead me to a few more relics or items here and there, but I don't find it to be all that great. Oh, sorry, but that's what I was looking at. Yeah, Titan Skulls. Ah, that was the enemy. Okay. Moving forward. Obviously going the only path I can here. Well, I have a weapon upgrade and then either gold or healing, so I should be pretty well set for the coming up to the boss. I'm gonna grab another sip of water real quick. Okay, I'm all set. I have 5 more favors remaining, and this is obviously not that long of an exploration, so I'm going to try and take advantage of them as most as I can at this upcoming relic, and yeah, that's it. I may end up pivoting to one of these here, because I haven't been getting much dex. Obviously stats are pretty great, and I probably should prioritize them more, but the question marks could lead to something different. It'll just depend on how I'm feeling about my weapons at the time. Yeah, this whip is dealing very, very high damage in tandem with my crit build. Yep, helps wrap up these enemies. Pretty clean, man. Cool. Wow, lightning is a lot more powerful than I expected it to be. I've still, once again, only used it a couple times, but by golly. Road I could lead through there. One up here. I assume I maybe could have wrapped around further there, but I decided not to backtrack. Which is honestly probably a bad decision. I'm gonna try and not anger. Oh, it's another one of these champions. These hurt. Or they hurt me last time pretty badly. Titan Skull still did notice me, so I guess they're all part of the same engagement group. I had a lot less stamina there than I thought. I was going to go for a double hit thing with my lightning whip. Ooh, the Titan Skulls do a lot. Don't think I can parry that slam either, which is why I didn't try it. Instead spammed my dodge. Obviously didn't have the dodge. Ready. Wonder if I can destroy those. I may be able to. I should figure out. Yeah, these champions elites are getting a lot more damage out of me than I would want them to. 6% per gold carry would be very powerful, but I don't think it doesn't have a big enough benefit on me right now. 12 to the highest would be to Constitution, which is... yeah, that would be basically a 600 additional health right now. Which honestly might be my best call, but I think I'm once again going to have to roll over it and try for something that'll outright help me. This is very tempting. 6 dex on top means I'm going to have to take it. I need to build up enough damage that I'm able to actually deal with enemies a lot faster. Survivability is important here. Like, very, very important. But it's also a point of if I have to survive for longer, I'm going to eventually make mistakes, so the more damage I can deal, the better. Fungal awareness, spiked mushrooms automatically trigger their attack if you stand near them. Oh boy, that'll be a bit interesting to deal with. Arena room here is means I'm not going to have to deal with it yet. Appear to be able to use lightning on the Titan Skulls, which is interesting. That attack mimics very heavily the first boss from the Jaguar temple. The lightning damage seems to just auto-crit, which means that it's going to be a very big help for my current build. Yeah, this whip just automatically does it on its secondary hit. Very nice. Once again, took a couple hits there, but I dealt very, very good damage. Just showing me that's working. 3, 4, yeah, this is probably where I'm going to want to go, plus 6 damage, plus 10 overall. This gives me minor damage boost, and this just only costs gold. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna take a pit stop at this healing room rather than gold room. It's gonna mean I'm gonna have to spend a lot of curse for these attribute points, or I could just pivot over to these rooms instead. I may just take the first question mark just because of the fact that it presents an opportunity for something besides just attributes, which I'm going to have to spend on, but at the same time attributes are helpful. What do I need right now? My weapon is pretty solid. I could use with a different main one, but this whip will probably carry me. Relics probably be good to swap out some of these, specifically this. And obviously more crit would just be nice. Stat in general are just more damage. This gets bonus off perception, gets bonus off dex, and constitution lets me live longer. I think the smart thing would be to grab 2 attributes, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna put me very, very close to stuff that I don't want to be, which is max curse, but I don't believe I'll reach it, because it's only plus 120 for the 2, which is 1 more curse. That is really bad. Like, incredibly bad. Like, oh boy, that's bad. I mean, it drops this, I lose 4 dex immediately, which very much validates my decision for what I did. The 4 dex isn't worth... 4 dex is what, 2% damage per dex? Yep. And so it's not worth the 20% on whips. I'm just gonna have to pass it up and take the overall damage loss there. Divine Favors have basically 0 use here unless I go to a question mark room, so I won't be hitting any... Oh, there's not a branching path here. Yeah. Basically that is the worst time to get that because I have no opportunity to make use of the benefit, and I just take the negative. A decent strategy with this whip seems to be just pre-doing 1 attack, because as long as you hit them with a second it applies lightning and then triggers the lightning effect, it seems. Which is what I want to trigger, because that's what's critting every time. I was very lucky on the first dodge, forgot that it had a second hit, and I just got hit twice there. Very, very bad damage. Thus far I'm really not liking the Titan Skulls, they're pretty easy to deal with, but the Priestesses suck. Prophets? Prophetesses. Sorry. Ah. Unfortunately gonna have to pass that, and only for gold, which, I mean, gold may help me get something, but it probably won't here. As you can see there, we can 3-hit the Titan Skulls, which is a very nice thing. Just trying to avoid getting too close to that spike because it would go off, and then I recognize the fact that it would... Didn't realize it would recharge that fast, but that it would have killed the enemy. I could just at base buy that, but I also really want the health here, so I'm going to take it both. Once again, I'll get 20 curse here. 40 from the next sacrifice, if I do indeed do it. And then 20 from the last means it would put me on a 4th curse, which I most likely don't want, so I could just end up only taking 1 stat from that room. I technically 1-hit the little serpents there, if I do my 2nd hit on them. Second hit is doing some pretty incredible damage. I'm just gonna check something here that I've already forgotten. I have my curses. Nothing too terrible. Probably should have gotten an enemy to break open this wall here, but once again, didn't notice it in time. Realize it would pivot that quickly to hitting me, and I should have just, once again, I pressed space there to try and dodge rather than automatically parrying, or pressing the parry key, sorry, and I was punished for it. Once again, it shows that parrying in this game is very pivotal to doing basically anything. Champion, not champions, I'm gonna get rid of the prophetess. I can two-hit it just before it would hit me. Hit you, and then I only have to deal with one enemy in the room. Which in my mind is the ultimate goal here, is reduce the number of risks, reduce the factors of risk, I should say. I'm gonna convert that to HP immediately. No need for the perception here, and my thing I'm missing most is HP. That 40 curse would bring me up to 102, and that last would bring me over, so I don't need perception, I'm just gonna spend gold for this. And avoid having to deal with a 4th curse on this boss. So yeah, this will be my first look at the second boss for this Serpent Temple, so here we go. I'm gonna take a water break so I can properly speak while this happens, though. Okay. I am prepared as best I feel I can. As you can see there, I do about half of a bar, so an eighth of his health each time. Got a very generous dodge there. That seems to be a 2-hit combo. He seems to once again have this long spear attack, like a couple of enemies I've dealt with now. That attack is very, very rude. As you can see, I can do some really nice damage. 2 hits with a lunge is very unfortunate for me. Especially because I didn't notice it immediately, so I took a couple of extra hits and then His back roll there actually really hurt me, so I was planning to actually get some damage on. Still managed to get a hit in there. I need to be much more aware of the sign for when he's going to do that, because it very much hurts me. I just barely didn't get out of the range of that combo. Got a parry off there. Did not there, and I'm stuck in a corner. Okay. There does seem to be some stuck prevention in this game, which is very, very nice to know, because I was entirely trapped there, and I just assumed that I was dead. Parries in this game are so incredible. I think I can just face tank it, and yep, there we go. First try on both the first boss and the second boss for this Serpent Temple. For me, that's a massive achievement, and I'm very glad for it. Whew. There we go. Most damage from this second boss here. Only got 5 perfect runes, which I find to be really low, but yeah. Just at a distance, looking at the options, it seemed not all that great for what I can get. So I'm going to quickly look over these items. There was one that I wanted to toss in. I have not actually seen Warmonger's Claws yet, that's kind of interesting. Cannot seem to just outright add that whip to my pool, which is unfortunate, but I guess I will just have to give it up. I'm going to add these claws though. Eventually I'm going to have all of these added and it will just be fine, but yeah. I can upgrade main weapons here, which I'm for sure going to do. Gives me a 50% chance of being rare, and a 25% of very rare, which is just honestly going to be massively helpful. And if I upgrade this, I'll have 10% chance for cursed weapons, which is what I'm going to be aiming for. But obviously I need 6 tokens, blood tokens I believe they're called, which is going to mean I need a lot more important clears. That did indeed refresh these, that is very nice. Not going to take those. The this is tempting because they do a lot of perfect dodge focus, but these obviously just chromatic knives look really fun to use. I'm gonna take them. 20% of secondaries of whip, we just saw how powerful the lightning whip and 1% per perception, just a generally good thing. So here I can either go for a long exploration in the either temple, but obviously I mentioned I was going for Jaguar, so, or sorry, I was doing Serpent Temple this stream, so I'm going to do more Serpent Temple. Immediate stats or immediate attributes, I think I'm going to go for attributes here. Even if I get perception, it's going to help over the course of the run, and it's going to help my chromatic knives. I'm going to try out the chromatic knives just so I can make sure I remember their combos well. Yep, there we go. Random element TM. Each combo deals a random type of element. Okay. Should have attempted a parry there rather than just standing there as I was unable to dodge because I was out of stamina. You will probably see me start swapping up my build pretty soon, because the 1000 gold is nice, the 5 from champions I find to be very powerful, and the 120 is obviously just allowing me to take so many more curse things, but the 1000 gold's benefit is kind of running low compared to what it used to feel like, so I think I'm going to ultimately give it up soon. Pretty clean. They just kind of stood there as I shot them, which is interesting, but yeah. I may have been sending them, may have not been. I'm going to offer gold for this. Here the 1000 gold benefits show pretty clear through. I don't have to spend 40 gold, but, you know, or sorry, 40 corruption. But is it really worth just the early stats? That just varies based on how you feel, honestly. Left or right? I'll go right. I feel like I've gone right before. Right is probably a faster way to the exit if you are in the Jaguar Temple. It was for the most part just a faster way to the exit, but may as well get out of the room faster, especially with how long this run's probably going to go. I should have parried there rather than attempting a dodge, or at least dodge to the left rather than straight back. Straight back will work for some enemies who just have a small forward lunge, but that thing's lunge is far enough that it's almost always going to be better to just... it's always going to be better to just try and avoid any form of damage. Once again, should have parried there, but I didn't. And that was just bad stamina management. One part of this game that is seen constantly but not really paid attention to is stamina management. You get sort of a feel for it as you play through the game, but it's a very important part of anything you're doing. You're going to want to manage how much stamina you have so you can react in some kind of way to an enemy attacking you. Where that setting off there is very nice because it means that I just avoid a lot of people. They decide to kill themselves. Should have broken this in. I've still not seen what's in that room, and my bow obviously cannot break it, but, you know, c'est la vie. Poison attacks, 45% straight off would be nice. Boost somewhat with chromatic. Not enough where I'd find it to be worthwhile. But yeah. I think I'm gonna roll through it just because they don't get enough benefit. 30% damage in darkness is nice enough, in my opinion. Because it'll... Well, actually, chromatic knives lighting things on fire and this lighting things on fire. I think I'll have to pass for that one as well. But yeah, I think I can settle on this. You don't... At least how I see it, you don't want to spend as many favors early on because the later areas you can get much higher utility. This is just a very... I like to use them on the first relic and then usually not from there, just to get a nice start. And then try and build off of that start. More stamina on perfect dodges is just a nice thing to have, really. So we're getting our first curse pretty early on. Gold Puncture, I do not remember this one. Ah. That's worrying. each gold not paid is converted into damage, so I'm no longer going to be taking any form of gold deal at all. I can drop a bit of curse here to heal, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to spend 300 for basically an empty room. So yeah, gold rooms all of a sudden just got way more valuable, and maintaining my low curse stat is going to be very important, or corruption stat, sorry, is going to be very important. I'm going to need to find a weapon, either a weapon or a relic to handle it a lot better. That 25% reduction helps a lot, but it's very, very worrying to have that curse, and I'm going to immediately remove that curse. In hindsight, that door probably would have healed me enough to make it not worth it to have spent the corruption, but, you know, that's done, it's done. Still don't know quite the optimal usage with these throwing knives. They're very powerful, but there's just some times where it's like, that AoE, yeah, it hit all the enemies, but so what? It doesn't deal quite enough damage and it's not super consistent, or at least I haven't been able to aim it very consistently, but that I think is going to come down to practice. No, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to BM him, or the Serpent, by killing it with a torch. Trying to get the name down, yeah, Serpent Cultists. Go left, try and explore more, try and get a bit more gold while I can to try and avoid the effects of this curse as much as possible. The benefit of healing is very, very nice, but the opportunity cost involved with spending so much on basically nothing makes it so it's very, very concerning to me. Especially with how little my build is developed, I don't want to be limiting myself on taking things to try and avoid getting curse or trying to avoid taking just a large amount of damage. Took a lot of damage this room. We're gonna fight these for the extra little bit of gold down there. Lots of bad hits makes it immediately not worthwhile. Healing 5% of my health, which is not enough to make up for what I've lost. Though that branch hitting there was very nice. I'm gonna go for the upgrade. You see I heal only 50 health, which is not very, very good. Appearing that these daggers, their AoE may just go to any nearby enemies, which if that's the case is quite powerful. Yeah, it should just try and target any enemies that it can. I need to stop dodging against them and work on parrying them instead. I should be eliminating you just to stop you from summoning anything else, but I did kind of forget that the summons wouldn't go away with the round change, or the round would change before the summons went away. That was a very lucky dodge. Range is always slightly more than I want it to be, it feels. Get a weapon upgrade, almost certainly going on the chromatic. Do I want it for blood though? Gain 30% from behind and a base 3 base. Yeah, I think that's worthwhile enough. It's gonna help me for the rest of the run. It'll show me a second curse before the boss, which is a pretty big penalty in all fairness. But it will give me the opportunity to have more selection on what I wanna remove with the curse removal from the first boss. Other curses are not known as long as this one is. Honestly, I may just end up keeping that and going with the removing the blood for the gold curse, because the gold curse hurts. Because what do I have? Yeah. With only these two effects, the gold curse is the biggest threat to my health. I appear to be able to combo the charge attacks and then do a final attack, which is quite nice. Once again, this room kind of just deals with itself. Ritual 11 gives me a solid amount of gold for this arena fight, and I can move forward. Actually think about possibly taking one of these. That would just be decent in general, but it puts me... Oh no, I can still get through the room actually. Yeah, having lightning attacks on a charged weapon would be okay. This is pretty okay. This synergizes with chromatic knives because I just generally light things on fire, but I don't get any benefit out of that effect. 3% per perception though is nice. I can't go that hard on curse though, unfortunately. I think I'm just gonna pass this. This still provides some benefit, and so honestly I don't think I need to change up weapons right now. This is going to be, as a long exploration, I do have an understandable risk of hitting 5th curse. Almost accidentally went in the room there with not full stamina, which would have been really unfortunate. Tried to parry there for whatever reason instead of just calmly dodging out of the way. Pretty bad mistake. I honestly prefer fighting from the right side of the enemy rather than the left. It just it feels more natural to my perspective. I don't know if that's what to call it. That was terrible. That basically just destroyed my chances of getting through without much loss. Yeah, my weapon situation is a lot worse than I thought now that I'm actually going against an enemy that I have to out DPS. Yep, taking a lot of really bad hits here, and this is actually going to push me into another curse already. Double hits there. This run may just outright be a wash already. I'm just gonna parry off there with a hefty dodge. Yeah, this boss seems to very much punish bad maneuvering. A lot of what I've been doing is bad maneuvering. I need to stop doing the bad maneuvering though. I've taken basically all my health here, which is never a good sign on a first boss for a long exploration. I think this is just kind of showing to me that the daggers, while good for crowd clearing, have definite problems with single target, and I would needed a better single target weapon to comfortably go into this fight. That's killer. Oh boy. Yeah, this run is a wash. I'm going to keep going with it, just because I want to get more experience with enemies and so forth, but there's no real reason, because I have almost no hope of getting to the final boss, having gained over 150 curse so far. Yeah, bad dodges mixed with just a lot of tilt here is kind of killing it. I'm gonna kind of purge that from my memory. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna take this as a learning experience to just never again. You know, lightning damage, kind of what I'm trying to aim for. I'm not gonna take that over my dagger. I have no way to electrocute enemies, so kind of can't take that. Max stamina by 1, solid. Not gonna take that because I have no poison. Okay, I need a healing room. That is without a doubt. So which healing room do I go with? Doesn't seem to matter either way, really. Just take this. So I don't know what curse I got. So that's how that worked. I had never actually gone to another floor with that curse, so this will be interesting. Your torch just doesn't work in that room, so it's not that, but you know, we'll figure it out. This is going to be real unfortunate. Also immediately getting my second curse literally one room after because of how much I had to heal, and the fact that I've gotten no bonuses to Constitution. So 2 curses to think of, just in general stuff to figure out. These aren't activating automatically, so it can't be that. Can't parry those, I need to remember. It's Shadow Altars is one of them, that's the effect where they no longer brightened. I don't know how you jumped over that and still hit me, but whatever, yeah. It's once again going with this idea that this run is basically a wash in my mind, but I'm just trying to get better while I'm dealing with that. Hoping I would be able to knock that grub a slight bit further into the enemy, just to prevent it, or to let it take a bit extra damage. I did not. That's that room wrapped up. Oh boy, so all that health I just regened is gone. Yeah. Focusing my build onto this was a mistake. Because I haven't gotten much support for myself. I don't have a whip. My perception is pretty massive, but getting bonus percentage damage isn't good on low base damage weapons. Then obviously attacks from behind is helpful, but it's not going to make or break anything. I can't afford to take any amount of extra curse now, unless it's something I direly need. I'm gonna go for attributes. If there's health, I'm immediately taking it, because it gives me the opportunity for any kind of comeback here. One of the important things with roguelikes is just never giving up, because if you give up, you've lost, but like even then, I still have opportunity to make improvements either myself, or even possibly do better on this run, depending on what I get, but if I give up, if the run's over, I could have the opportunity to get to a better run immediately after, but if I keep doing that, what's to say, well, that will just be how I treat every run. So I think it's important to at least try in these cases to make something better out of what you're stuck with. Yep, that enemy wrapped up. I'm also collecting additional crystal skulls, which is always nice. So set that off before I go in it, just to not have to deal with the extra damage. Didn't have enough stamina there, so I didn't feel comfortable going through it. As you can see here, the extra stamina that I have is from my relic. So I currently have a very high stamina build, but I have nothing to take advantage of that. I'm going to go this route because I believe it leads me towards the exit faster, and I just need to get out of this route. I got way overzealous there, and ignored the fact that I need to eventually get out of that. I may actually have something that just activates all of those. I'm trying to... My dodges are just not really on point this run, and I thought I was out of that, and I wasn't. So yeah, the end of this run is coming a bit quicker than expected, but... Yep, no stamina there. I probably should have tried to dodge harder, but I was unable to. So my first loss to the Serpent Temple, I lost in a very terrible way, but I learned some pretty good lessons there of what to do and what not to do, and kind of just gotta go with it. Some synergy there. No real synergy, but that's just a good starting weapon. I don't trust daggers, but that seems like my best bet here. Gives me the highest base starting effects and the weaken. Yeah, I guess I'll take it. Gonna go right back into that Serpent Temple exploration, trying to get it done. Gonna take this route for the tribute and the relic and weapons later on. Okay. I've seen these rooms a couple of times now, so I do know where some of the extra little drops are, where some of the traps are, which is nice. In this game I've learned there's definitely a degree of cost-benefit analysis you have to do. Do you do the extra rooms for the extra little parts of exploration for those minor benefits that stack up with your time, or do you just take the speed and the risk avoidance? Extra damage and darkness I should probably pay better attention to. Because I keep lighting things up. I'll also be weakening enemies when I can, just because it's extra damage. I did not expect to get hit by that ending effect there. Once again, have no real basis for my build yet. Very wary of fire though, because it causes the gas explosions. Oops, sorry. Can that hit us? Yes it can. I got by it pretty much scot-free the first time, so I was like, maybe it just does nothing. But no, it does something. Triple kill there for basically no point, and I took a damage for the risk that I put myself in. Took a hit of poison for no real reason, but, you know, moving forward. Stats. Health and damage, just gonna offer my gold for it. And take my move forward. Gonna take the quickest path here. Don't have a good enough build to risk taking excess damage here. I do wish they would open up enough to take damage, but it is nice that they get stunned by that. Should probably be cognizant of the fact that my whip will break them out of their little damage immune phase. Also that I can one-combo them if I just weaken them first. That is pretty nice to know. Anything interesting? Nope. If I'm in the room, I may as well check around, if it's pretty simple. The range on whips still confuses me a bit, but the benefit of damage is always nice. In darkness I can one-combo them as well. Probably should have been aware of that gas cloud better. Once again, I keep forgetting to get this, get that little side room. gave this up on a previous run. A better version of this too. I think I'm gonna just have to take this for sustain? Do I need sustain right now, or do I need damage? I think sustain is a better thing. I can save my rerolls till later. And this gives me sustain mid-fight as well. Sorry if my voice doesn't sound all that great. It's, I believe, just hitting midnight now where I am, 11:58. And so I'm just kind of existing. But I mean, I'm enjoying myself. And that's, to a degree, what matters here. Because if I'm not enjoying myself, I don't think I can say that anyone who watches this would be enjoying themselves. That's about all I want, is people to enjoy themselves while I'm enjoying myself. As you can see there, I got 3 health for a combo finisher. It's free damage, or sorry, free healing, that I may as well take advantage of. Guaranteed criticals would be nice. Not gonna take. Just because this technically does more damage and has the nicer range to it. And I can for sure one-hit combo enemies after. It was in light, that's why I did one-hit combo. But yeah, in darkness I have such high damage and I can output it quick enough that it works effectively. The thing that I don't really like maces for is how slow they swing, because I mostly like quickly doing things, which is honestly probably why I take so much extra damage, but you know, it works for me in general. Though I can't say I'm all that much of a skilled player, so you know. Take advantage of the darkness and separate enemies to just get what I want. This is a gold room. I could very well just skip them. I didn't get angered by that, which is odd. Unfortunately, brought myself into light, so I'm going to slide over here into darkness and try and take the priestess out as quick as possible. I did manage to get solid damage on the priestess. I'm feeling a bit more comfortable in my position, especially with the very minor health, and this was just even a smaller side room, so that works. 1 to each versus 4% health. I may as well take the 1 to each for now. It'll be fairly useful for a while. Shouldn't have rolled through that. It didn't trigger any poison, which I thought it just automatically did, but I still suck at parrying, but getting a shield just auto-stun stuff would be nice. I am going to pass it though, because my current synergy involves just automatically whipping them. Coming up to a weapon area as well, which should give me a better chance at seeing some things that I would want. Bloodlust, gotten this before. Yeah, enemies don't drop blood, and I no longer have regular healing effects, except from blood, which I don't know if that counts for crit. Though it may just be the specific. Yeah, I think it's just specifically blood instead of gold. So yeah, it very drastically limits the amount of gold I have, but provides massive, massive sustain. As you can see here, I'm just regenerating pretty absurd amounts of health, but I now no longer have the benefit of so easily taking basically anything. Because, what's it called? Most of what I would be taking right now would be gold deals, I should say. Well, not most of what I would be taking. If I want to take gold deals, I can no longer. Is what I mean. I can take maybe 1 more, and then I'm basically just stuck with what I have because of the fact that I can't regen or get gold naturally besides through, I believe, chests? Yeah. And maybe gold piles still exist? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. I'm going to be capped out on health for quite a while with this. This could work. This is a two-handed. I'm not great with two-handeds. I'm also not progging either of those effects ever. I'm going to use a favor here. Bonus damage on the first hit, basically. Bonus damage for perception. Not getting either of those. They're both two-handed anyways. They're all two-handed, I should say. Oh boy. Yeah, this combo, 30% damage against elites and Sacrificial Machina, I'm going to take. 20% against undamaged means just slightly more, or uninjured, sorry, means slightly more, and the fact that it does some corruption removal, very helpful. Whew. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a weapon upgrade to try and immediately buff it up. What is my build? My build is nothing. Okay. Moving forward. I cannot one combo finish these enemies, which is really unfortunate. I'm actually going to bait these enemies together as much as I can so they can try and blow themselves up. So that I don't have to deal with them. Yeah, like that. Don't know how I didn't get hit by the secondary combo there, but I didn't. And that combos pretty well to finish the room. Balance point. Surprised me there. Upgrade a weapon. This gives me just pure damage. 3 base is actually pretty solid. This gives me bonus against flaming. I have no flaming. Ah, 70 curse though. I do like hitting up to my first curse as quick as possible, but it basically means I shouldn't take those. But building this up early, this is something I could stick with for the entire run. I think I'm gonna offer blood for it. Relics can be replaced, a lot of things can be replaced, but if I just want to stick with this, I can have the option of not replacing it. Also, my current curse is actually quite nice, if I'm gonna be real. Like, it's the reason I don't have much gold, but you know. Living Roots have increased attack speed and accuracy. I don't like that. Living Roots are kinda worrisome, because they look like those, and I'm like, that's probably fine. That's never fine. Yeah, it's a very generous timing on the dodge there. So how accurate and fast are we? Pretty fast. Not as fast as I expected. I expected it to just instantly swing and kill me. If I was being fair, but you know. Gold. Probably check out if there was the left path there, but that was a real sucky thing that just happened. I was trying to use my whip to do that, basically, and I thought I could stun the enemy before it could do its thing, but then I got hit just before I could swing, and it just ended me. Max stamina by 1. I'm almost certainly going to take that. It helps avoid some of the problems that I've been having and allows me to do 2 full combos, or more full combos with my weapons. 3 perception is okay. That's about it. And currently I have no synergy, so I may as well just stick with not having synergy, you know? I did the thing that I didn't want to do last run, but I did it this run instead. As you can see here, we do very, very solid damage. This attack pattern is very easy to dodge, so the boss just wants to keep doing that. I'm entirely down. Try and set these off as I can. Or I can just swing them and break them. And then get more damage into the boss. If I weaken the enemy at the start of my next combo with the whip, I should be able to just kill him. Yep, there we go. Very, very clean fight. I don't believe I got hit there, which is vast improvement from the last run. much do I care about? I actually kind of... No, I don't think I can survive the rest of the run only doing curse offerings. It's very nice. It was very nice just... Wow. Just having the capability to... what is it? Not have to deal with healing, but you know. I have no gold. I may as well take it. I have a fair bit of perception. No need for either of the healing rooms. I can just go straight up here for some stats, or I can go here. I think I do want to get the time trial. I need to bolster my gold, especially with the fact that I have a damage boost based on my gold right now. I can actually one combo them, which is very nice. This is obviously a champion, so I won't be able to. I do manage to combo them though, which is nice. Crit and 2 Constitution. I could get 135 gold for that, but crit damage is just nice. I'm gonna take it over that. I lose 1 dex and gain. I lose a dex and a perception for basically +1 constitution, but 15% crit is literally my build. Crit build. Though in all fairness, at the first boss I had no build and still got through it, so you know. That I think highlights the power of Sacrificial Machina, how absurdly strong, which obviously this is a bit rare to get the 30% against elites, champions, and bosses, but it's absurdly powerful. Can I one combo you? The answer is no. The answer is yes. I'm going to try and deal with the Serpent lady, just so that I don't have to deal with her and can auto-crit. I didn't get that second hit in there, which kind of worried me, but then I managed to get the third hit off. Right? Yeah, 4-hit combo. 2 Titan Skulls, and I believe that's a Serpentess in the back, means that I want to take basically either left to right or right to left. I think I'm going to go left to right just because I can get a bit closer pretty easily. Immediately start combo. This is a very generous dodge window with their spinning attack. As you can see now I'm just against this enemy. Since the auto crit I may as well just take advantage of always critting and heal a bit. That's another thing. The higher my constitution, the better this gets, the synergy between these two, because I literally just heal more. Because what it's... well, no, 5% critical damage dealt. I thought it was a different relic for a second for some reason. Yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice Curse here for both of these. These just work in a build. More health is just more to fill, and more damage is more heal. If I manage to get the relic that heals me percentages on kills, that's just good. Percentage through doors isn't as strong as it was pre-nerf, but you know. Devious darts, all blanc blanc. Yeah. That's rude. I now have both. I have 2 curses that affect environmental things, which is kind of worrying because it's something that I'll just have to pay attention for. But it does also mean I'll get more practice dealing with it. Do I have any reason to be in darkness besides better drops? No. Cool. Strat that I just like to do, which is pre-charge my combo so that the end hit goes off, which seems to always crit with a lot of weapons, meaning that I can just get healing out of it on top of other things. It appeared that I got healed there, I'm not too sure, even though I didn't get any damage numbers for those enemies. I'm going to try and mark the Titan Skull as soon as possible, because I hate them. They just present additional things in the room that want to hit me. Managed to be smart and leave the champion for last, even though this is a champion that spawns enemies. It still means that I'm getting a decent bit of bonus damage here. they kind of just kept moving forward, which literally stopped me an inch out of escaping, which is very unfortunate in my mind, but you know, I should have played better is what it ends up at. Oh. 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 That's an interesting relic-y boy. Cursed weapons are very fun. Plus 20% damage just outright for my 2 curses, additional damage based on how much of health I'm missing, but there's no point to it. I'm gonna reroll once just to see if I get anything interesting. That is definitely interesting. Get that effect. Don't get any poison effect and just bonus damage in darkness, but would I give up this current War Machina or Sacrificial Machina build? I don't think so. Both same tier. This definitely attacks faster, but no auto crits gives a slight anti-synergy with what I've got. I could just swap out the whip for like this. It gives some pretty big benefits and it's just high damage. And it only takes gold. What are my upcoming rooms looking like? I'm going to another weapon, or I could go to a gold and then a time trial. I also gained some benefit for just saving my gold. I think I'm going to do that, because this whip is proving to be pretty helpful to just weaken enemies and make my combos easier. Ooh. I am actually going to take a really quick water break. Okay, moving on. Lots and lots of gold on the ground, which is obviously what I came to the gold room for. It's just more gold, because more gold works towards the relic for additional damage for gold, or per 1,000 gold. I'm gonna get a lot of gold from the challenge room, obviously, but the more the better. I believe I found out I could indeed one combo them. Oh, you hit real fast. Yeah, I guess when you don't notice them, they will just kind of give you pretty quickly. So now all I have to deal with is the cultist with their 2-hit combo, and yeah, basically done with this side of it. And now I can make my way over to this side. Just trying to come from the back, just to see what there is to see. I do think I want to eliminate this enemy first. Big wide swing there was unfortunate. I can pull this enemy to make sure it's out of range of the other enemies, so I can get my guaranteed crits as well. More critical damage is what I want. Is it worth it over 6 Constitution? Yeah. At least to me. Yeah, I kind of just engaged from a bad angle, so I just went for the closest enemy, but now that I have the opportunity to redo, basically re-engage, I just decided to go after the easier to kill one, so I can auto-crit on this. Make the fight much faster. I am actually confident enough to go left, so I assume it's away from the exit. Just try and get a bit more rewards. See you. That look in your eyes. I'm paralyzed. I'm going to just kind of skirt around the enemies and try and take out the ones that I can. Prophetess does appear to buff. It was Prophetess, not Priestess, right? Or was it Prophetess? Yeah. As you can see here, the Sacrificial Machina attacks fast enough that I'm just able to maintain damage pretty well. Take minus curse there, there's no real need to not. So I'm able to get multiple combos off after stunning them with the whip and weakening them. I believe that's a champion, so I'm gonna see if I can get enemies out of it. As in, engage from a different angle, and I do want to get rid of this little segment over here. So I'm gonna see if I can. I believe I can. Oh, I engaged with. Kind of just pretty smoothly curved around that wall, which is not what I expected it to do. I expected it to get a bit interrupted there. We managed to eliminate it pretty quickly, and now I can just deal with this enemy. Unfortunately, that's time to summon. Why did I dodge into that? That was just bad decision making there. Gold chest. No mace damage needed. I need sword damage, or crit damage, or a lot of things. Because I'm going to be hitting up and have been saving so much gold, I'll be able to probably outright buy the weapon upgrade for the War Machina. I keep saying War Machina, Sacrificial Machina, sorry. I am in the... yeah, time trial. Is the time trial different in this area? No, it's not. I thought not. Just a kill. Thought I could get out of range of it and got stuck on its body, which was very unfortunate. Now I just need to combo and I'm done. I get a sizable amount of gold there and just move on. Took a couple of hits there trying to rush, which in my mind was fine. I probably shouldn't be that risky with my HP, seeing how I've died a fair number of times, but you know. Did the thing I said I shouldn't do. Just dodge into the room. Tried to grab that enemy after I reconsidered the fact that it would probably be more profitable to just kill them before the champion, and I missed, but the champion's still alone, no longer alone. And just by itself, I finish it. Pretty clean room. Don't believe I took any hits there, and I can move on. That is an HP. Definitely can afford this. I lose out a fair bit of damage to a degree. Gain 3 base, 2 extra on that, but I lose out on like 12% damage because of how much gold I'm spending. Do I care about the current curses? Wait a minute. I don't. Gonna offer gold, or blood, sorry. I mean, the curses don't really matter now, so if I just get another curse that I can just remove immediately, you know? I'm fine with my weapons. Yeah, this build is getting fairly locked in. If I could get a better secondary, that would be cool and all, but why do I need to? I've gotten 3 environmental effects. It's honestly probably the best result as well, because they're all usually not that close to each other, so I can get just solid benefits for little cost. I grab this gold and move on. If I can manage to get like 32 more gold, that would be solid, because it only works based off of the margins there. It has to be entirely the next segment, or else I get no benefit. As you can see here, I can just wombo combo this enemy down. And that's the true power of this Sacrificial Machina. It's absurdly powerful when you just pay attention to it. Another pretty key champion to this build right now is the additional stamina from, I believe, the Eagle Pendant? Amber Pendant, sorry. It's literally just making me able to do more of my combos more quickly. Managed to barely get off that finishing thing, and it does appear to be able to fully interrupt. There's no reason to swap this out. Bonus damage, crit damage, one of the more things that important things that I mentioned, and this is providing the heals that I'm getting right now, which they're not massive, but they're definitely beneficial to me. Nothing back there. It's always good to check. I've had the option for a while to use this, which this is very powerful. A lot of bonus damage, kills restore, some additional stamina. Good stuff. Just not as good as Sacrificial Machina. I mean, like, I can show it off now. The combo would be whip and then use it. I mean, like, yeah, it does damage, sure, but why not just do what's working faster and better for me? This combo. Try and collect as much gold as I can and avoid the little circly statues. I wonder if there's a thing for them. I could probably get that curse as well and be fine. This is gold room, yeah. On to the next boss. Very comfortable position right here. This boss seemed pretty straightforward the last time I fought it. Or I should say the first time I fought it. And yeah, I can probably take one of these two routes and then just pivot over. I can only hit one weapon upgrade, which does kind of incentivize this route, because I get 2 relics, and relics are probably what I would change, but also I'd be down with this route, or this route. I really do want another weapon upgrade just to see if I can upgrade that anymore. So that's probably what I'll do. Not gonna roll into the room this time. I'm gonna be smart. Just absurd amounts of damage. Nearly took out an entire health bar with one full combo. I'm gonna try and back off so I can regen stamina up. I need to do it again already. I've not yet attempted to parry that spin move, which I probably need to do. Honestly, this boss fight feels a bit easier than the first one to me. I'm gonna take that as an intentional hit there so I can just burst damage, because honestly I don't care enough to try. Taking a lot of dot damage for some reason. I assume that was just poison applied by his hits. I ended up taking a lot more damage than I wanted, but like, yeah. Mushrooms scare me. Not gonna take you. Get back most of the HP I lost. Not gonna take you, get some free perception. Ooh, that's oh, that's real tempting, but no, not gonna take you. This is the warm-up. Oh. That is like a lot of damage for the build I'm going for right now. I think this is where I either get rid of the additional stamina or this, because 2 Constitution isn't doing much. 15% is a lot, but this just currently adding 30% rather than 15. And crit only stacks more on top of that. And no need for lightning attack, so just more gold. Cool. That was... I got really sloppy at the end because I just got lazy, but that was a really, really good fight. Do I want a different weapon or do I just want more gold? I think I just want more gold. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. This is one of my favorite weapons, the Sacrificial Machina. It's honestly very enjoyable for me. I've yet to enter this area. This will be my first time in this region. I only have, what, 2, 4, 6 rooms until I get to the boss. 120 curse, which brings me up 1 curse, so I have a bit more flexibility for what I spend. That is a champion, one of the stupid stone mask things, and I really don't appreciate that. I can't just skip over to them. Yeah, Titan Skulls. Trying to get a look of what it is. There's a normal one there that I should probably just get out as quick as possible. As you can see there, thanks to the additional just base damage I have right now, I'm able to outright kill them in one combo. Now that I have the Priestess dead, I'm able to just very comfortably deal with this enemy by itself. As you saw there, that was some pretty close calls with the spinning blades, but I ended up fine. I'm actually kind of thinking of taking this. This is really good, but I'm not using it at all, and this lets me break doors that I wouldn't otherwise be able to break. And I've been missing out on those doors for quite a while. Is there anything in this room that wants to kill me? Like, I see them, obviously, but, like, they're fine. They're friendly boys. You're not a friendly boy, though. You're still be able to hit me over there. It's just outside of my expectation. But yeah, especially with this build, and because I heal just tiny amounts very quickly, I'm able to be fine with taking these little bits of damage here. I'm not happy about them, per se, but I take them. Oh. So this is why this curse is unfortunate. Large amount of gold for just basically spending more time dodging there, which I'm entirely fine with. Almost at the next bracket for which I will get large benefits. I currently get actually 10% extra damage for every 1,000 gold I have. Yeah, I knew that was going to bite me in the back one day. The fact that I had the root thing and never got rid of it. I'm going to smack you to death. I saw what your friend did to me. Or you saw what your friend did to me as well. This would be nice to just build up gold, but I don't really have space to swap it. So I may as well take the full healing. Ooh, what is this way? That's an exit, so I don't want to go there yet. And that is just outright an exit of the floor, so where does this go? Just another room I can fight, I guess? Is this just a gold room? I've been in this gold room for so long I didn't realize. Yeah, I could just leave, or I could kill these. Do I want to risk the health for more gold? Yes, yes I do. Took a hit there, I shouldn't have committed as much as I did. Shouldn't commit as much as I did. Yeah, that is the one problem that I get with the War Machina build, is I get really sloppy. It's just such good damage for literally nothing. Oh, there's an extra chest down here. I'm glad I did it. Oh, I'll take the 12 corruption off, though. There's no need for a weapon. This gives me a chance of going to a gold room. It's unfortunately a healing room, which is just a skipping floor, basically. Do I have any reason to stay at full health? Do I have any reason to not be at full health? Like, we definitely heal to full health with just literally pressing a button, but that's, whatever. I heal passively, but it's good to just have the outright base so I don't have to worry about healing up. I can just heal any that I lose instead, if that makes sense. Like, obviously if I play perfectly, there's no point in that, because I'll heal it up anyways, but if I don't, which I usually don't like that, it just gives me something to heal up rather than otherwise. I'm gonna try and go back and forth for the gold here. It's much easier to do than it otherwise would be because of the fact that I have the Amber Pendant, which gives me more stamina, so more dodges. You see them? You see me. We're a happy family. Oh, these little cubby holes are nice. I have an area to escape to get these outlier gold pretty easily. Wow, these aren't spitting poison at me. I'm surprised the environment isn't currently trying to murder me. Is there any combat? Yeah, this is combat room. I was starting to wonder a bit. You're I'm just left to you, and I can crit you for free health. Made up a decent bit of health, and I lost for a bad hit there. Why did I dodge into the room? I really need to lose that habit. I saw them over there, by the way. I need to lose that habit of just dodging in their rooms. These rooms are definitely longer than the Jaguar Temple rooms, it feels like. Or that may just be my perception of them. I believe that's an elite, so I should do this, then this, then this. Maybe a different order would be better, but it's just what's accessible to me. Really shouldn't have risked dodging there, but I did. As you can see here, I'm putting up absurd damage. Like, what would I swap out for it? It's not worth it. I can build more gold, yeah, but there's no need. I feel like I would lose more than I gained there, I should say. I'm almost certainly going to just take a curse for this, because it doesn't really matter, and I don't think I can hit. As far as I know with this game, you can't gain a curse in a room. You only gain it when you're changing to a new room. So there's no actual negative to just waiting. Try to make use of the enemy that were in the room there. To get some decent use out of them. I do definitely want to get rid of this Titan skull as soon as possible. It's really obnoxious. It actually will die by... I thought I dodged there. It will die by itself, but... Once again, I thought my swing was going to go off there, and I dodged back for safety because I just saw my mistake from before, leading to non-safety. Try to deal with the Titan skull as best I can, because I hate them passionately. Got hit with a poison there, which is the reason why I stopped charging my attack, because I had forgotten that they were there. When I recognized that, I wanted to cancel my plan, basically. I should not be doing this, but I'm going to. In that situation, because it has a leap attack, I shouldn't have been doing that, because it would have just wasted stamina when it eventually leaped at me, but it decided not to leap at me. For whatever reason. I'm just gonna offer blood. What curse do I end up with? Mortal Harvest. I believe this is, yeah. Basically puts blood in urns, which means I'm not going to roll over them anymore. Yeah, 19 for one curse. Actually, that can be useful. I may as well take it because I'm healing curse off of getting kills, but like, yeah. I'm also currently at almost zero risk of hitting the 5th curse. Final curse? Yeah, final curse. I was looking at this room, I was like, oh, let me find enemies, and I was like, oh yeah, I just entered this room because it was a challenge room. That's the entire purpose of the game. 1450, I'm gonna end up with a lot more than 1450 because of perception, but yeah. Took a bit of damage, but I think I netted basically neutral because I took a couple of urns as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna go for a tribute. The tributes are about what'll help me because no weapon changes will do much of a difference. Please cease your heresy. I'm gonna look for a little bit of healing. Didn't find any. It's fine. Oh, sorry about that. I hit my mic there. He's like a snipe the Serpent. Just gonna have one combo here. 472 damage is very powerful for literally just 0 effort. I see a breakable wall here. May as well break it. Apparently it's an alternate path. Don't know if it's beneficial to have taken this alternate path. Because what is this? This is a tribute room. That probably was fine. Basically just going to be trying to leave the Priestess Lady for last. It ends up not mattering because I hit both of them with that whip pull, and yeah. I like saving the elites for last because it gives me the most benefit out of the Machina. No point in healing, but no point in taking that either. Go this way and look leverage down here, which is nothing. Thank you for that. I could go up and skip something, but I may as well get more gold by just walking over here. Now there's a trap there. Yeah, 10,000 gold. That's literally giving me 100% damage bonus on my War Machina, or Sacrificial Machina right now. 27 plus 37. That's absurd. Now if we take out that first run, which I don't think that actually happened, then this is basically getting to the final boss on my first real try. I really wish that would, like, stun those out of existence. It probably shouldn't balance notice, but I wish it did. 5% of damage, of critical damage dealt. I just dealt 142 and it only popped up with a 2 there. I may have just been misinterpreting it though. Yeah, give me it through blood. Actually, this is literally the last room. 750 drops me down a tier. 20 will give me the next curse. 10% damage versus 10% damage. Literally gives me no benefit to take this. Offering blood gives me a benefit, but it also gives me a curse which could royally screw me over on the final boss. But more damage. More damage is more damage, you know? You know? I'm doing this out of more just like... Sorry, I had to cough there. I'm doing this more out of just the fact that more damage will probably help me kill the boss, and of the curses I've seen, almost nothing can screw me here. By saying that, it's going to screw me here. Cadaverous Infestation does, I think, nothing in this fight, because no enemies will die besides the boss. Hopefully that is. I'm going to take a water break here real quick, just to make sure I'm fully prepared, and then we'll get into it. Just going to show off the build here just so other people have it. Level 5 Sacrificial Machina, upgraded this a bunch, 27 plus 40, remove 1 corruption, 20 against uninjured, and 30% bonus against bosses. That's going to come in huge. This whip, literally just used for weakening. This hammer, used for breaking down doors. My curses that I got stuck with, basically just things environment, urns with blood, and then Cadaverous Infestation. This heals 5% on crit, which should give me some sustain through this fight. This plus this gives me 10% bonus damage for every 1,000 gold, which is plus 100% currently, which you saw there, and then plus 45% for critical. And yeah, that's the build. This will be my first time seeing the Serpent boss at all. Hopefully it's good. Or hopefully I do good, I should say. Very nice looking terrain. I see you. Kind of... Here we go. Dealing insanely large damage here. He spawns enemies, so Cadaverous Infestation will actually do something. That is a 2-hit combo, it appears. thought my whip would fit somehow. That was a messy dodge. But that messy dodge was my own fault. So no real complaints. I don't know where exactly I got the stun there. Cadaver's Infestation will actually serve a really negative purpose here. Because these bats will actually just prevent my Sacrificial Machina from proccing. So if I do end up with a loss here, I'm going to blame it on that. Just setting up this preface. That was a very generous dodge there by the game. Thank you for that. Bad hits here. I understand his combos now somewhat. We just need to actually get to doing them. The massive delay there really sucked. I should just be committing to damaging the boss here because I out DPS him, I think, at this point. Yep, out DPS, cool. Wow, first attempt on this boss and a full clear. Oh boy. That has me real excited. By the way, still haven't beat Jaguar. I beat it on an event run, but I still haven't killed it at base. But wow, there we go. First time making it to the boss, first time kill. 12,000 gold collected, most damage on the boss, 2,000 health restored, and 8 perfect rooms, which isn't great, but you know. Highest single damage, 513. Holy heck. That was really fun. Three new blessings, Reptilian Hunger, Greed counter never runs out when you're in combat and does not reset between rooms. And you get an increased damage per greed kill count. This one is actually kind of interesting. You gain 1 dexterity each time you flawless a room. Without, basically do a room without combat. This is an interesting one by all means because it makes fire illuminate further and gives you a damage bonus, or damage reduction while in it, but, you know, I see no real need to. I was running this build for, oh yeah, I just realized it reset all of my things from the previous update, whatever. But yeah, I was running a build with this before, and just healing 300 per charge consumed, and then mixing it with one of the relics that if you overheal, you gain that much gold. It was just it was a fun time, is what that was. I could upgrade the other weapons, but like, main weapon. Divine Favor, I'm pretty far away from getting an additional Divine Favor. Any interesting weapons that I would care about? That seems fun. Don't like this, it's just kind of plain. I was trapped by you before, I'd probably not be smart to do it. Yeah, I think I'll stick with this. Do I want to do a hard exploration? That there's the question. I could do an event in a Serpent. None of those two sound very interesting. Like, I don't really know how this would play into it. What is this stream called? Something learning the Serpent Temple. I did definitely learn the Serpent Temple. Should I get this clear so that I can do the final upgrade on my thing? 9 deaths. That's rude. Do I technically only have 1 clear on all these? Yeah. I could try and do a real quick speedrun of this and see how fast I can kill it. I may do that, and then if I have a fun weapon pool, go for this. And then just otherwise go for something normal. Quickly going for Relic. So yeah, this is just going to be how fast can I do this. Starting it at 12:48 my time. I was looking at my phone there, so I have no actual excuse, but I want an excuse, basically. Speed should be no reason to get bad damage, though. It's something that should be definitely said. Yep, bonus damage of secondary is a whip, and I have a whip now. Do I heal off a whip? No. Down. I'm just going to speed run through these rolls. Crit, sure. I believe I can kill this boss with this current weapon. Just as a bit of a side note. Really messed up in this room by not waiting for my stamina to recharge correctly, so I ended up having to do a lot of extra waiting on it at a real point. My room is done. Nothing here. Take this for blood. I don't know why I took that actually, now that I think about it. I'm going to immediately drop it and pick the whip back up. Well, just giving the extra damage. Made a couple mistakes so far, gonna ignore those facts. Take some attributes here in this next room. I'm trying to take advantage of that crit timer as much as I can. Stamina dodge to do that? I did not, unfortunate. I'm gonna light them on fire and then I forgot they teleport and immediately extinguish when they teleport. The goal of lighting them on fire was to then get the benefit of having an enemy. Did it again. Was to have the benefit of 15% extra damage and light, but yeah, didn't end up working out for me. Ah, if I light you on fire, I can deal with you guys. And get my crit bonus. I do want the skulls. I may be trying to speedrun, but I need the skulls, stats, off the gold. I get my first curse in the following room after this, I should say. After this room is complete. I'm probably going to skip over the animation for the curse. Know what the curse is, obviously, but just want to see the fun little animation. Really shouldn't have gotten hit there. It was dumb. Was dumb there as well. I thought I had enough to charge, and I didn't. Those are a bit unfortunate damage, but it just shows that I do still lack a pretty decent amount of skill. Get a perfect dodge off spikes, I kind of forgot about that. I'm gonna go for this lamp. It should give me, it should save enough value. Just by lighting it. They light up the ground anyways, which means I wasted my time a bit, but say la vie. Stats for blood. Really would like some health here. If I have a health path, I may actually go for it, but no weapon upgrade. Actually, I can get health there as well. I don't really care about curse because, you know, all that. Lose as much gold as you take health, or you take damage, but you take 25% reduced damage. It is very powerful for what I'm doing currently. I haven't been really using the whip much. It's just outright kind of slower damage than what else I have. Really didn't expect the full pivot there. I should at this point expect it, but I don't. It's really unfortunate that you survived that long. By the way, random enemy, yeah, upgrade you. These are what I'm gonna kill the boss with, so I'm gonna upgrade them as much as I can. Obviously gonna give me my second curse here. I'm gonna go to the healing room just to ensure that I have enough HP to full face tank the boss. And yeah. Trap chests, don't care. I was meant to skip that, but I didn't. Yeah, trap chests you have to parry chests, which makes it a bit of a nightmare. Not that I'm gonna take chests anyways, but yeah. Not unless I need to, and especially not now that the fact that I have all this demerit for doing so. Demerit being it takes time, as well as just commitment to do it. I was attempting to actually bait out that attack there because it means it won't teleport away, which means I can kill him a bit quicker. Dark Dagger. Don't have the time to upgrade that, I'm just going to ignore this. That dagger is very powerful. I don't need it though. That dagger scales very powerfully over the course of a run because it just gains permanent damage increases up to 200 times, or 200%, sorry. But there's, or plus 200%, I should say. There's a big difference there. But it literally doesn't matter because we have one room left before the boss. Was trying to kind of get a perfect dodge there, but it didn't end up mattering. I'm gonna roll until I see critical, basically, and then just offer gold for it. This boss, it's very easy to get perfects because all of his attacks cause perfects, so yeah. Dodging makes you intangible, but something else with that, I think. Yeah, you lose life. Doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna try and deal with the dogs as quick as I can, and then get to deal with the boss. I'm gonna bait out his attacks, and then just go in on him. Really should have saved more stamina for what I did there, but I didn't. Yeah, that was it. You don't regen HP after dodges. And then take a hit there, but not actually. And then just kill the boss. Cool. I'm gonna really quickly run. I think I'm gonna collect skulls anyways, but then I'm gonna really quickly run to the portal. Ooh, give me freedom of movement. There we go. Cool. That took 6 minutes 20. Pretty solid. Didn't actually expect it to be that fast. I expected like 10 to 15 minutes for that run. Calls of Evisceration are just kind of nice, especially with the Weaken Whip. That stuff's kind of just nice. There's the actual Warmocking, by the way. Don't like it. Well, I don't like it all that much. It has guaranteed crit effects, which is cool. By cool, I mean moderately useful. I think I'm gonna run Talnox Awakening, just to try and get it done with. Actually, Serpent very hard. The stream's titled for Serpent, may as well run Serpent. Stats, weapon upgrades. This can get me 2 weapon upgrades, this can get me 2 weapon upgrades. I think I need to find a new weapon to upgrade before I focus on anything else, and especially with 2 upgrades available, I'm gonna go for it. No longer in that speedrunning mindset, so I need to remember that and not take really bad damage. Yes, I have a heavy weapon like this, cool. It was entirely unnecessary, and I probably should have explored to the left. Actually, no, I like having these, even if I'm not going to use them for damage, they're just generally nice. I'm going to go for the extra rooms just to see what's out and about. Yeah. What was the point of coming down here? Was there a point? Can I break these, by the way? Can. So maybe there was something down there. Just realized different types of rocks. Cool. Kind of curious as to what's down here exactly. More enemies was expected. Unfortunate. I didn't notice that they were active, so it cost me. I did notice though, is the delay there because I was in the kill animation really threw me off. 200% greed time, cool. Not very useful, not very bad though, it just kind of helps extend greed time. Which will ultimately net me more gold, I think. Cool, pretty clean room there. You always want to offer gold for this first one, though some tempted because maybe I can just get a weapon without spending curse, but then I was like, may as well just deal with it. I could have gone to the side and gotten a relic, which probably would have been smart, but if I'm aiming for the double weapon upgrade route, I definitely want to make sure I have a good weapon for it, or else I'm going to have to pivot. And I could commit to this, but I really don't want to, because waiting until 30% health requires an interesting amount of commitment that I just don't have. Should really go back to parrying more just to make sure that I get it done when I need to. Didn't realize the fact that this was an arena room, so I went over there to check. And I've taken 2 hits to the same maggot, and that's very disappointing for me. Make sure I just instantly combo that enemy, break you out of your animation, and get committed too much, and face the wrong direction. That was just a very bad turn of events there. A lot of damage for what I really shouldn't have. Yeah, the hard difficulty is really showing off in the fact of how much excess damage I've taken and how big of an impact it's had. I've lost over 500 health. I kind of really want to swap out of these Claws of Evisceration. This gives me just a good option. Do I want something better than these though? These are sorry. This would be a good option. I've done a Venom run before, but I just don't know how effective it would be. I don't have a DPS to, I think, stick with it. This could be used as my main weapon, especially if I get a sword. It's just very hard to decide because it's not very scalable. I get 1% per dex, which just makes dex 3% bonus, and then poison is good. I think I'll commit with that. No longer get a whip, have 2 pretty close range weapons, but they're both really powerful weapons. As you can see there, that's the daggers combo that makes it pretty, it breaks enemies' animations, I should say. Yeah, this is honestly just a lot of experiencing things. Trap chests, you just have to parry chests. We'll see how it goes with this run. It's definitely going to be a bit of interesting trying to make something work here. You can see I just barely have time to finish off the combo animation. If that actually started. Set up my boys. Can actually hit them with the break effect, which is nice. So it means he will die. I'm done with that. I'm moving on to this. I thought I was just slightly out of that range. It's a bit unfortunate, but you know, it is how it is. And that was just an outright bad hit there. That's my bad. But yeah, honestly, being able to have cleared the Serpent Temple's 3rd tier on my first try was very nice, actually. I'm gonna ignore weapons there. Don't have the comfort to kind of deal with them freely. And move on to the next room. Yeah, taking a lot of bad damage in the early part of the run because I was trying to commit to this kind of made for a mistake. Now that I'm trying to pivot to this, it is definitely working out a lot better. I am going to light up the room because I do need the damage reduction. Very, very unfortunate timing there with the enemy's attack. I expected them to die to poison just slightly faster than that, basically. This run may be not going great, and my one viewer left, but you know, I make things work the best I can, and I'll learn from them inevitably. I mean, if I can survive any amount in this run, that would be quite interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to swap that out. Gonna have to take the stats here and move forward. I did that in the hopes that I'll be able to afford one upgrade on this dagger without spending gold, and then curse, and then I came to the realization that I will indeed have to spend curse either way. So I'm going to be hitting up a lot of curse on this first floor. But basically no point. 27 HP in a dream. Quite the dream it will be. Yep. There she falls. Unfortunate. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. It has the most synergy between them with the bonus damage against poisoned enemies. Make another attempt on that very hard. And just get on with it. Go with the stats or go with the relic. Bit of a tough decision. I get double stats here, which I think I'll end up needing. haven't seen that trap be, or haven't seen that room be that trap before. It's usually the one directly in front. So it kind of threw me off, which I guess is good design. Pretty clean room there. 50% less corruption is solid. It means very, very good protection against the first boss because of how much corruption it deals if you just start getting hit by it. It builds up very quickly, I should say. I don't know exactly why I didn't dodge there, even though I pressed the button to dodge. It was probably just an input or not fast enough. I do very much like that the dodge frames allow you to avoid their full combo there. Health and, yeah, gold. Honestly, stats are just always a good thing to have. Some people choose not to prioritize stats, which I can understand to a pretty good degree, because at a base level they just seem like pretty minor increases, but they're very permanent increases, because you can always swap out weapons, you can always swap out relics, but stats are literally forever. Runs. Just barely didn't have enough distance there, which is unfortunate. This room should clear itself now, but indeed it did. Oh yeah, that's done. I had to try and deal with it and stop it from hitting me up as much as it would. Just finish it off. Got a bit worried there at the last second that I was out of range, but I did manage to clean it up. Just an outright better weapon there. The main weapon is sword I don't have, but 1% for dex, 10% for that. I think that's worth grabbing. Mostly because it's just an outright upgrade. It's the reason I'm so comfortable with just picking up all of these curses is because I run the blessing to give me 120 curse threshold rather than 100. Effectively gives me another curse level, so to speak. First curse tier, future host. Don't prefer that. Definitely don't prefer that. So it'll probably be what I end up clearing with this first boss. But yeah. You see there the vermin getting buffed by the prophetess, which is extremely unfortunate. I probably should have focused down the prophetess, but I didn't. I should clean it up anyways. The vermin are just a bit of a nuisance more than anything. They don't pose any real threat to me. They just add something in the background, so to speak, which to me is a big threat in its own way. They're not going to deal that much damage when they hit me, but the fact that they exist is inevitably going to distract me. It does mean that I get additional damage on enemies like that. But is that worth the additional risk of just these random enemies popping up, as well as just having to deal with extra enemies before I can finish a room? Probably not. You see there, I kind of just tried to commit and finish up the enemies, and to be hit for it. But I mean, it's working out pretty well. Haven't taken too many bad hits this run, which is what I'm always glad for. I just pick that one off immediately. verms left. Or the vermins, I should call them. Keep misjudging their range. That was entirely my bad there. Took a lot of baseless damage. Gonna offer blood for them. But yeah, doing these streams, or these late night streams, which that's what they are for me, it's like, what, 1 in the morning about for me. I definitely enjoy them. Mostly, I have free time over my weekdays, so it's just an extra thing to do. I am going to regen a bit of health here because I'm already here anyways, and 10 curse for 250 health is valuable enough to me. This first boss is more what I'm worrying about because my damage is good for clearing basic enemies, but I don't know if it's sufficient to deal with a major enemy that can hit me a lot. And even then, it's not all that great at dealing with basic enemies. Altogether just a good time, because I get up fairly late in the morning because my university classes are just later in the day, and so if I'm up at night anyways, I may as well just enjoy the games that I enjoy. That's just how I treat it. This vermin effect, surprisingly, is far more helpful than expected, just having basically free damage on demand. Very nice. Though, in all fairness, the fact that I have to deal with an extra enemy each room is a bit tiresome. 45% damage in darkness is probably what I'll end up going with. Don't have many benefits other than that, and I believe the final boss, or this coming boss, is in it. It also gives me the opportunity to see my next curse, so I can ultimately decide what I want to get rid of, because this vermin effect is, as I've said before, surprisingly beneficial to me. Bloodlust. That's also an interesting take, because I'm staying pretty consistent on health. Thankfully, it's only this one room that I'll deal with it, but if I want to maintain HP, Bloodlust is actually a fairly decent option, because it just purely gives me so much more HP. Fortunately there, he just kind of turtled up. Thankfully, it doesn't matter because it's dead. I believe there's no side room on this one. Yeah. I hear a lot of people say this game gets a lot less fun on later playthroughs. I can somewhat see where they're coming from, to a very minor degree, however, because build diversity at a glance doesn't always seem that great, but as you go and explore more into the effects, like currently just working with poison and darkness, not that unique of a build in any way at all, but it's working, it's effective, and in this game, that's a very nice part of it, is that so much stuff can be effective with basically little effort, but it also still presents a challenge for doing anything. Really didn't appreciate getting hit there. Really shouldn't have gotten hit, but I'll make it work. Should have committed to the dagger swings there, because it would have let me kill it outright. And that I should have parried. You live and you learn. So is to speak. Finisher's Weekend. I'll actually give that up because of the fact that having access to a heavy weapon for my two-handed means that I can just break down walls. That's what I was afraid of. Thankfully I have the negation with Curse, but that combo that just happened to me right there was exactly what I wanted to avoid. She did the rapid fire attack when I was point blank on her trying to commit to damage, and it just ultimately gave me a very bad time. Took an absurd amount of Curse as well is the main issue on top of that though. Thankfully I still have this 50% Curse reduction against enemy attacks, but yeah, that was also just... thought I was out of range, but I wasn't quite. So on and so forth. Yeah, with this enemy I think I just need to learn to keep distance a bit better. Really shouldn't have done that, though, which is run out of stamina. Taking a lot of really bad hits here because I get a bit rough around the edges with those bombs area effects, but I'm trying to work through it. It's interesting, the Jaguar boss gets so simple when you learn it, and it's basically a non-factor, while this boss is the opposite. But on the other hand, the bosses after this feel a lot easier, at least to me, to deal with. Cool, that's a wrap on the boss. Very, very bad boss fight for me. It was ultimately up to my own mistakes that led to it. I just kind of wish I didn't, so to speak. But I was out on a fair bit of gold there because obviously the Bloodlust was still on, but I got 200 HP out of it. This is a bit tempting, but pivoting right now will have to be a decision for a bit. I'm gonna double check the other items first. Passing through doors and inflicting less corruption is just good. This is just outright an upgrade. I can commit to that if I need to. I have no way to weaken, so this is entirely useless, besides the 2 benefit there, and then this is unnecessary. That was a way to weaken, but there's also the fact that it doesn't do very much for me. I don't think this is worthwhile. The reason behind that is just the fact that if you give up this main damage dealing weapon and the poison dagger, what are you getting back out of it? You're getting this basically sidelong effect of range damage. Do I need the range damage? No. Do I want it? Yes, but you know, not much you can do about that. Either one of these paths will give me what I want, basically, which is health. And it's honestly better to have it midway through than at the beginning. What do I need from here? I need a new weapon more than a weapon upgrade, because my current weapons, though effective, aren't really what you would want for these sort of things. Dark Fervor, Corruption Opacity. That sucks. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually hurry with this then. That's mighty unfortunate. This curse just basically rushes you, and I don't appreciate that. Taking a lot of bad hits there. Just trying to get through this first phase and on to the next. Because these tournament rooms, or whatever they're called, arena fights, are going to be the death of me. So I'll just keep gaining corruption from them. Trying to stay conscious of the Titan Mask here, because it does pose somewhat of a threat, just in the fact that it will deal a lot of damage to me if I'm not conscious, like that. And this is very much solidifying my idea of taking a late heal, because this build is not strong enough to keep me healthy. So taking it halfway through gives me a better chance on the coming boss. managed to finally clear out that elite there. But at what cost? A lot of corruption is the answer. Gotta rush through. Take a lot of corruption for basically no purpose in that room. I do get weaken effects here. Can I make use of this better? By far, yes. Can I make use of this better than that? To a degree. I still am not very effective. I'm gonna have to use a favor here to try and get something stronger. And again. 20% lightning is interesting. This just outright helps, but no, I can't stick with heavy weapons focused. So I'm going to commit really hard to getting something. This focuses on poison, lets me commit to that. I think I'm gonna go with it. Drinking water there, and was like, oh yeah, I can't be distracted because of the current effect that I have. I literally just picked it up. What does it do? More damage at night. Cool. Should do that. Yeah, that's one of the other important things, is actually paying attention to what you do have. You're definitely just gonna take unnecessary things. Thankfully hits don't have too much importance as of now, just because of the fact that I'm going to be for sure going to a healing room. I should have gone up rather than to the side, because this just leads me to extra fights as far as I know. And I don't want to be in more fights. I want to be done. Basically because of that curse, I'm trying to rush through every room possible, because otherwise I will very quickly ruin my chance of trading health with the curse. Thankfully there is the exit right there. Or sorry, trading curse for weapons. You just had to summon just before you died, didn't you? 50% poison, that's just outright 50% extra. Trying to get as quick as possible in this room. I really shouldn't have taken that detour beforehand, but now that I know for a fact that I am going to be getting that 15%, it's definitely worth it. Commit to finishing off that enemy. Even though it was poisoned and would die, I needed it to die as quick as possible. Yeah, here's where the vermin, this was probably the worst curse to get, in all fairness. This is where the vermin becomes a nuisance, because it literally just means that we take longer in rooms, which leads to further curse. As you can see, we've gained a pretty absurd amount of curse over the course of this room, or corruption, I should say. And that is very unfortunate. What just hit me there? I think I got hit by, or clipped by literally the very edge of the enemy's effect, which is extremely unfortunate. Okay. We need to focus up here. Very much have the risk of still dying here. That is another thing with this game, where I see what some people come from. I may just need this for health regen, but the fact that you can take so much damage really quickly is very off-putting for some people. But yeah, I did not get what I wanted. Okay. Moving forward. Yeah, I don't like what position I'm in right now. I have a lot of curse, I don't have a lot of good stuff to deal with the curse effectively. So I'll have to spend curse to then deal with curse, and it's not a good thing. That was just unfortunate. I remember for a fact it's the second one that I want to get rid of, but yeah. Branch there taking off 200 health from that hit because I just couldn't see it well enough is very, very unfortunate. Poison Spitter statue is just kind of being a nuisance more than anything else. Really shouldn't have taken that detour once again. This point of I keep building up curse because of the, or corruption, sorry, because of the curse. Why it just attacked in front of it there. Yeah, dealing with the extra enemies afterwards is really causing me to gain a lot of curse. Normally that normally that curse is passable because you can at least sometimes gain less corruption than you would otherwise, but in the case that I have it, I'm almost always going to gain more corruption than I should have on the room. Should have been 20. That was just bad dodging. Whew. I need to focus up. I'm getting a bit on tilt from how that first boss went, but I need to just worry about how it's going now. Yeah, it's looking more at the positives of what's been happening with this run, besides that. As you saw there with my dodge against the spear throw, it is... Claws' weapons are very powerful in regards to just outright dodge ability. Okay, you should be dead, please just die. I took way too much damage in this room. Ooh, give me a sec on that one. Sorry about that. Yeah, that is definitely the one thing, is when you start getting hit, it feels very unfortunate. I should not be slowing down here to do this, but I am. 6 dex, I need that dex, I'm sorry. This does literally nothing right now. Never gonna heal in excess. Don't need greed to kill on that. Quite unfortunate that you can stun him out of his little defensive state, but you can't stop him from still spawning the enemies. none of this is effective for me. Criticals are nice, healing off of criticals is also nice, but I have no need for them currently. I may actually just skip this challenge. It's a really bad idea, but I just need as much health as I can for this boss, and my damage capabilities are not good enough. I unfortunately decided to roll into the poison for whatever reason. But yeah. Okay, I tried to press the parry button a couple times instead of dodging, and that was a mistake. Like, almost certainly guaranteed that this fight is a loss level mistake. It's gonna rush at me. Did actually manage to make a parry there. I don't think I can actually parry that. Very generous dodge window there that protected me from a lethal blow. He should change phase in about 2 seconds. Yep, there we go. Yep, didn't manage to get that parry off in time. Unfortunate end to this. I took a lot of damage for a lot of things that I shouldn't have, but it's just kind of how it goes with these runs. I should grab some additional weapons that can spawn. There's nothing I'm too interested in, right? I think I may just add the Storm's Bulwark. Sorry. I may just add the Storm's Bulwark and then move on. It's hard, because some of these definitely would be useful, but it's not really worth grabbing, so to speak. I'm definitely going to grab Storm's Bulwark. Foolish Shift I don't care all that much about. And I guess I'll grab Spark Hammer. It just adds an additional effect. Charge attacks into wind slash that damage all enemies. Yeah, I mean, may as well. I am going to upgrade the secondary weapon altar twice, just so that it's a bit more useful as well. Serpent's Blade, okay effects. Don't know how to feel about Warmonger's claws. Sorry. This mediocre at best, just because not very good benefits. I like this just because of this. Honestly, I'm gonna take that and just go with it. I should probably deal with Talamok's Awakening. Yeah, I guess I'll do it. I'm sorry, there's someone in chat doing something they probably should not. sorry about that. There was an unfortunate thing with chat there. So I would just like quickly dealing with it. But yes, unlocks. I'll go for an early weapon or relic to see if I can build off somewhere with it. It's always a good idea with this room to just take the extra stuff you can get. Oh yeah, shield. Probably just gonna go shield only for a while. There's no real reason not to. Shield is just good. You can just parry what I don't stun lock. As well. Free time load increase is actually kind of nice. It just means I have more maneuverability with time frame. The fact that I got hit in this room just goes to show that I am a bit tired and don't have the greatest reflexes right now. May as well go for a greed build, I guess, since I'm getting the starts of it. 200% time, 2 crushing per kill. Pretty decent start for one. Got quite lucky there apparently, and it's just giving me the free nope out of there by way of 25% chance to auto parry. As you can see, my greed timer is immense right now, as in the amount of time I have to just make use of this effect for minus corruption is very big, and while I'm this low in floors, there's no reason not to make use of it. Gets me additional gold, additional other effects. Use one favor, Whispering Aegis. No real benefit to take that right now, just because it's higher damage, yes, but I can't really scale with it. I get 30% more from behind though. I'll just take it now. It's an okay upgrade to just kind of work with. I could go either for more weapons and multiple weapon upgrades, or otherwise I think if I'm gonna... Smart play would be to do this, but I could also get 2 weapon upgrades, which would really stack something. I don't have really anything I want to stack yet though, so I think Attributes are the safer bet. Sorry about that noise, if you hear it, it is my chair squeaking. I have a moderately old chair. It likes to squeak. Getting actually pretty fair control over my greed timer here. If I had been a bit smarter and just gone for the next room, I may have been able to make it towards enemies, but now that I'm seeing I wouldn't have, it's fine. Should have probably gone for a parry there rather than otherwise, because it would have been much safer than dodging into a very tight corner. But yeah. What can you do? Can get more perception, more HP through Constitution, and move on. I managed to not even hit my first curse yet, thanks to the Ring of Purity here, just kind of carrying me to victory. Got a lot of vermin kills apparently. That hit there is entirely my fault. I was trying to get a better angle to just do that basically, but to multiple enemies at once, and it didn't work out for me. That situation that just happened twice there is really terrible. I did not mean to go through that door. I have a heavy weapon to break open multiple. Get a bunch of extra gold. Yeah, there's a relic right there. It's my own fault, but I really dislike what just happened. That's basically what I'm trying to say. If there's any more enemies, then I may actually be able to get out of this room with very little curse. I was thinking I might have been able to just entirely not get a curse yet, but no, I'll be just above the threshold. And may as well go all the way then. Visions of Madness is one of the curses that I really hate, so I'm glad I'm getting it now so I can get rid of it, basically. I can either get a weapon upgrade or a relic coming up after this room. Probably gonna want a relic. Weapons aren't great right now, no need to upgrade them. That was just a bad decision making on my part. Lost a lot more health than I expected to have lost in that room. As you can see there, where the stun delay thanks to the shield charged attack is sufficient to literally just do anything. As in you have enough time to just straight up get more stamina to then attack before they have time to get out of the stun animation. Just wrap up as many enemies here as I can. Get as little curse as possible. Could have taken that. Not really using the daggers, so it doesn't really matter to me. Extra HP is just okay. It's okay. Still going for a relic over a weapon upgrade though. Didn't think I made it through the threshold, so I didn't commit to keep rolling. And it cost me. C'est la vie, monte-moi. Yeah, the side room may as well have gotten it because there was a explosive barrel there, and I mean it's just extra resources to try and deal with the current run with. There's a couple things there that really didn't appreciate happening. They're ultimately my own fault. I just wish they didn't happen still. Because of, you see here, the stun locking it's due to the fact of how quick you can charge up the effect on the charged attack on shield, basically. More greed kill time would be interesting. More stamina is probably better. Do I have anything important? There's stuff over there. Yeah. More stamina gives me more capability to better stun lock enemies, I guess you would say. Just because it's literally one extra attempt at stunning and one more slot to have available to stun with. As you can see here, the strategy that I'm going to be doing to kill this boss is pretty straightforward. Just smack with shield. And as you saw that I did with that phase's dogs, you can literally just knock him back repeatedly and knock the dog into him, so you hit both at once. There, I didn't quite get my angle right. But yeah, as you saw, he usually will do that twice, as in he'll throw them twice, and then he'll throw them again, depending on when you do it, like this. And so now I know the fact that I can commit all of my attacks, though he decided to do this rather quickly. But yeah, usually you can get away with just hitting him a bunch and knocking him back twice, like 2 sets of damage basically, because then he'll throw daggers again, or throw spears. Maybe my words don't actually hold truth, and I was just mistaken, but I'm just gonna kill him. It's ultimately just kind of enjoyable for me to do a shield run, because the shield's just a fun way to attack, basically. I'm not gonna give up the shield. It's just how I'm treating this kind of. This is very nice, actually. Still not giving up the shield. It's giving me all of these very, very nice options, like, holy heck, I'm gonna have to leave that for a second to make sure I do. Oh. Finishers throw the spear, piercing through all enemies. Yeah, I'm going to take that, just purely based on the fact of it's a cursed weapon and I kind of need additional damage. Crit damage here would just be additional damage. Gonna take this over that. The shield is currently what's carrying me through this run right now. Doesn't have much synergy, and this has way more synergy, but I lose a lot of my stun locking capabilities if I give it up, so I think I'm gonna stick with what I've got, which is that, and then try and make use of the Bloodstake Horn to Torment. Gonna go for a tribute. Leads to a weapon upgrade. Basically, that's how I'm treating it, yeah, directly to a weapon upgrade. I probably could have taken healing there. It would have been smart to do so in some way, because I'm so low and have no healing capabilities. But hindsight is all that. Spear definitely does very solid damage. No need for healing effect additions. They have no healing effects. Yeah, it has the double damage dealt, but double damage taken effect. Just gonna get out of that area. Unfortunately, couldn't make it to this room in time to then deal with it. And then continue my greed timer into it. But yeah. Just gonna make use of the shields to kind of just carry me to victory. That fireball went for a lot longer than I thought, and I got a bit worried with that one. That is one of the surprising things, is some effects can just straight up go through doors, or go next to doors, which will end up causing you a lot of extra damage for very little purpose. Gonna go with the unknown. I was tempted there to go for the middle path. I believe that offered me some additional options, but I kind of want to head to this time trial to take advantage of that effect. It's basically 2 gold room. It's a lot of gold, I should say. Gold rooms, though, in fairness, give you the opportunity to just outright get items as well. As you can see there, the ending effect of the spear stuns, which is why I really like some types of spears. I can effectively use them sometimes, basically, is what I'm saying. Comparative to other types of spears that just don't have the damage output. And the reason I'm able to use it so effectively is because of this curse on it that's doubling its base damage. And with that kind of curse, you also just don't want to have it held out because it will actually cause you to take additional damage to traps. And I'm just gonna stun you. Use my primary weapon for once in a while, or my main hand weapon. It's more damage, technically. Just gonna run through this as quick as I can. Blue gold. The enemies will hopefully die to the fire before they decide to murder me. We'll be a bit close with you, so I'm going to just knock you there and move on with my life. Yeah, how was that room? Surprisingly fun, actually. Weapon upgrade room as far as, yeah. Just gonna quickly wipe them out. Basically, that's how I'm gonna be treating this, is it strong enough to kill the enemy in one set of combos plus one hit, which is basically the time it takes till they attack. If not, it's not worth it. As you saw there, the enemy just decided to kill itself. It's basically large-scale attacks will also set off those barrels, which is what I was hoping would happen, and it did. There's a dog over there that I want to deal with. So I'm going to try and position myself in a way that hits it as well. And yes, I dislike the Jaguars, I should call them, enough that I will indeed prioritize them over something like this, which was 2 elite enemies. Shield go bonk. Just more damage on you would probably be smart. More damage on you is also very smart. It gives me very, very solid. That's 7 on the extra, 6 on the base. Very solid numbers. This gives me 7 and 2. But I can give gold for this. Oh, actually, I do want to make sure, yeah, I will hit my first curse, or hit a curse before I get to the boss. It's always good to make sure you clear a curse on the boss, or else you're wasting effectively a large amount of corruption, because the boss, for me, returns 120 corruption worth. You saw there, that was the reason why I don't like the dogs, aka the Jaguars. They just kind of jump at you from across the map and are like, yeah, it's fine. Which, in my personal opinion, is not very fine. I go off to the side room for the extra bit of gold. I have a lot of perception still. May as well take the free gold. This is one of the rooms where you actually just want to dodge to one of the sides, because sometimes those will explode at the end of them. Just gonna continue to moderate my greed by smacking things to make sure I keep up the greed streak. Gotten very close there. I didn't actually kind of comprehend, or I should say I didn't think of the fact that doing basic attacks would limit my charge time, or the time I had to charge up. It's healing, but I don't need healing. Give it up for corruption. I'm gonna be getting a lot of corruption from this, probably. I have a lot of these. We just kind of give up unless they're not great, in which case I'll reroll them. Each greed kill removes 4 corruption. Here we go, boys. It's definitely going to be interesting. You can get some of them that just outright heal you while you're on a greed streak, basically, which would be very nice right now. Very nice to say the least. Temple's Bite. I'm glad I can clear you as well. It just makes things a bit more obnoxious because they're activated in a pattern, but I don't appreciate them not being activated how I want them to, basically. As you can see there, every time we get a kill, we remove 4 corruption, basically. Or a greed kill, I should say. There is indeed a distinction there, but it does trigger effectively after every kill as long as I'm not hit because of how long my greed timer is right now. Probably should have prioritized down the healer, but I just kind of ignored him and dealt with other things. Do need to remember that I can actually hit with my main weapon. It is indeed an actual piece of equipment. I didn't need to dodge there. I just kind of decided that, yeah, let me just dodge for no purpose and almost get hit for it. I mean, it is technically a boring strategy to do what I'm doing, but it's working. You gotta consider that. It is indeed working. It does a lot of damage. That pretty well complements it because I probably won't ever need to actually hit. It costs gold. What am I going to spend gold on? I'm going to get more gold. Yeah. I needed a new main weapon anyways. So I may as well swap it out, you know? Go back to just shielding enemies to death. I kind of need to right now to get some of the groups down. That was entirely luck there that stopped him from attacking me. There was luck as well. I just got 325% chance blocks in a row, which is considerable. Made massive amounts of money there. I believe that was either 3,000 or 2,000, just for basically nothing. I really don't like this boss is the issue, and you need to be able to deal a lot of damage to it, which is why I took this. Like, I'll probably start off with this just because it'll summon bombs first, but after that, it's a nuisance. I'm most definitely not going to have out the spear for very long in this fight, just because of the nature of taking double damage here. It very quickly leaves you to death. Not gonna finish off the combo there. There's something to be said about if I did, I would have gotten further into this phase, which this phase is a bit obnoxious to deal with for some, but for me, I didn't want to risk taking a large amount of damage for basically nothing. And see, that there is why you don't get greedy. I got lucked out on the second one there because also did not end with me getting hit. I got just the last edges of the dodge frames. I've also come to the realization that you can break those, which is very... That's very bad. Yeah. I kind of committed too much to that and allowed myself to get hit there, as in I used too many attacks. You obviously can't... I should have dodged. That's basically what that was. I thought it was going to do that attack pattern, but it didn't. But yeah. There's stuff I could have done better there, but I ultimately didn't take all that much damage in that fight, which is good. I think I took 200 about. Ah. Possibly a new main weapon. Does lightning. Lightning is nice. Bonus damage for heavy weapons. I'm gonna leave that on the ground for now to see if I do any. I don't need that. 100% in gold? No. I'll take the pure damage boost from it. 150 in gold? No. I'm gonna take the health. This puts me back at full health and makes me a lot more comfortable taking something else. Not gonna need the constitution. This is tempting. It's literally just because it's lightning damage though, so there's no point in taking it. I will remove the corruption though. I was gonna say I had to heal, and I literally just healed up all my health from removing the relics. Originally you couldn't sacrifice the relic, or sorry, the drops from enemies for other effects, and now that you're able to do that, it's so powerful to have this 5 drops from champions. I don't actually know how I didn't get hit by the Jaguar there. I literally bumped into its flight path, it just didn't damage me. I got bailed out there because I had overcommitted stamina, having not paid attention to how much stamina I had. But once again, this is why this is one of my favorite shields, because it literally just gives free chances at not taking damage while you hold it. There are some situations where you just can't effectively time a dodge or a parry, and it lets you go for only dodges while also having the benefit of still getting parries, basically. Leave up here is a bit of extra gold, yeah. May as well get it. I have a lot of gold right now that I kind of just can spend on. I could just like hold it and hope I get one of the relics to give me bonus damage based on the amount of gold I have, but there's no real point in hoping for that, seeing as this will be my last chance at a relic. And everything else is just gold. Huh. Seeing that I'll only get other weapons, I think I'm going to use my Divine Favors here. Towers. Speak of the devil. I mean, how much do I need to limit corruption at this point? Not all that much. I'm gonna just go with this instead. Do I want to offer gold for it or blood? I think I'm just gonna offer blood. It brings me into the next curse, but I can basically tame the rest of the curse damage from there. Or temper it down, I should say. Or not curse damage, sorry, curse. Stab. Corruption. That's the word I was thinking of. Unfortunate that I got hit there. I'm not gonna transfer that to health just yet, because I can literally just fight this enemy and then do it. I do get the point that this is very much not as interactive as some of the other things, and that's why I occasionally try and just rush out damage there, and I'm probably not going to do that as much anymore, seeing as I just took so much damage for doing that. I'm going to turn this into health. Yeah. I would have healed up to max if I had decided to be more careful than I was, or stick with being careful, I should say. Okay, I don't remember if it was actually a thing, but I think that used to affect the final boss of this. Meaning that you would occasionally just have massive, massive explosions, but it does really hurt because they're huge, how big these explosions are. Like, it's straight up a bad time. As you can see there, I was just holding my charge for an extra little second there to make sure that I could also dodge out of the attack as well, basically. I'm going to highly prioritize this enemy because I hate them. I forgot they set those off as well, by the way. Shadow Ball setting off the fire thing. It's wonky. The one thing to consider is that whenever you stun an enemy, they will almost always then go for an attack, even if they just attacked. So it's something you really need to consider carefully. The fact that they will almost immediately be like, oh, you stunned me, now is my chance to attack. Just trying to outdistance that combo attack, because I don't want to deal with it. Now I'm left with just one enemy, I can calmly focus it down, with little to no restraint. Cool. Upgrade station here. More damage is I think what I'm gonna have to go with. Because this provides damage, but it's not my primary damage dealing system. How much blood? 60 blood. It's gonna probably give me a second curse before I get to the end of this segment, but I mean, with my current corruption, or capabilities for dealing with corruption, I should be pretty good. Always going to aim to try and get rid of as many enemies as possible to just make it much easier to control the situation. Fewer enemies on screen, the easier it is to just deal with one of them at a time. I know that's kind of a counterintuitive thing to say. Obviously, if there's less enemies on screen, there's less enemies to deal with. It's just kind of, the more control you have over a situation, the better it is going to be for you in this game. I am going to use the shield stun lock here as much as possible, just to try and make sure I get to the end. And yeah, I am just going to skip over those enemies to try and rush towards a victory. Oh, it's just bad decision making. This room is actually quite deadly because of sulfurous barrels, so I'm going to try and figure out what to do with it. Probably over there is as far as I can remember the best way to go, but I think it's going to make me lose all this gold. Yep, I'll take 90 damage for it. Probably not worth it, but if I can hit over another barrier of thousands, I'll be able to get a significant damage bump before the final boss. Sulfurous barrels again, please. Cease. Yeah, it's one of those. I consider sulfurous barrels very, or what is it? Yeah, sulfurous barrels very dangerous just because of the fact that so many rooms, they don't feel like they're built for dealing with the massive AoE that comes with sulfurous barrels. I'm going to probably deal with this enemy first, just so I can bait this enemy over here too. Come and break open this door. Thank you. Yeah, that's basically just part of what you end up learning is which enemies to bait where, which are easier to deal with, and so forth. Perception is very nice right now. It means that I'm at, or sorry, the fact that I can convert that to 12% health is very nice. It means I'm in a much more comfortable position for the boss. Though my damage dealing capabilities, being so limited as they are, means I am still scared. I'm still not all that great at this Jaguar Temple boss to unlock, and so I would have preferred to have a much more solid build before I went to him. This current build, like, it's working, shields clear up the game for basically the entirety of it, but it's really not good enough to deal with the entire thing. Especially because the boss doesn't stun very effectively. But I have the backup of my, what's it called, mace? I believe it's a mace. Yeah, Slaver's mace. Is that charge attack? No, finishers, yeah. Finishers always dealing critical, put me, I think, 150 damage with it. Do I need gold? Yes, I need gold. That was a very bad decision. I didn't realize how low on stamina I was there. So it meant that I very nearly got hit while having out the spear, which the spear gives me double damage while it's held. Or I should say I take double damage while it's held, but I also deal double damage. That should be I should break. Yeah, I broke the 11,000 mark there, which is very much thanks to my 22 in perception right now. And it goes to show you, I would have only gotten 1,050, but my massive amount of perception gave me a pretty big effect. I'm also just going to outright get rid of that just as quick as possible, because I don't want to deal with it. Ultimately, these little arena rooms are just going to be me. I stand corrected. I was going to say there's ultimately going to be me shield spamming, but I messed up a shield spam there and took well more damage than I thought. That is going to basically mean I have one less hit against Tamok that I'm able to take. Get rid of the weakened one there, which I did manage to. I'm going to try and get rid of the other weak one. Impossible. Now it's just going to come up to timing chase. And it's done with. Okay. I have a lot less health than I want here. I think I've mentioned this. Not going to be able to pivot currently. And there's nothing here that makes me want to pivot. So yeah, moving on to the final. Oh, 3 damage torch. Heck yeah. Moving on to Tamok. So technically my first clear of the long run, though I've cleared Tamok before in some of the challenge runs. But yeah, here's the build. Torch, Slaver's Mace, Whispering Aegis, which is what I've been using. Bloodtaker's Torment, or Bloodstake, sorry. And then extra stamina, greed stuff that doesn't matter, other greed stuff that won't matter, plus 4% damage. for every 1,000 gold, which is currently at 44% damage, and then 15% critical, and 20% for heavy. Well, Furious Barrels will hopefully not matter. But yeah, this has been one of my lowest curse runs, getting to Ta'almach with literally that much, and I've still taken a pretty absurd number of curse deals. Managed to get a good parry in there. Good auto parry there by my shield. I could not remember if it was ranged attacks or what that broke those. It was ranged attacks. Trying to keep my cursor in his direction so I'm able to parry whenever I need. Do not expect him to just automatically do that, especially after just standing up and just getting hit by a shield. I should be going for additional parries here to just try and deal with these combos. I just got a very small chance effect of him getting auto parried twice. Just barely got nicked at the end there. Really don't appreciate that, just because it means I have all the less health. I mean, it's not looking great for this current attempt. I need to be making sure I clear well more distance than I do. With each thing. Each combo set he will be going into second phase here. I managed to get a combo off to stun him for a second. Try and make use of my temporary advantages here. As you can see, the shield is still indeed capable of stunning somewhat here. It's just much more limited. That was very, very close. If I had gotten hit with that, that would have basically killed me. I need to maintain distance and try and focus up here. If I could have gotten that finisher hit in there, that would have been great because that's my primary damage healer right now. I very nearly backpedaled into that hit of the fireball. That was a very risky play I was going for there. It most definitely wouldn't have paid off. It was just a slight bit more damage for the cost of double damage, basically killing me off. I have 2 more hits left, unless he does his ground slam, in which I have 1 hit left. Thankfully, I was thinking about not dodging the second time there. I thought I wouldn't get stunned there, but I did end up getting stunned. And that should be it. Please. Thank you. Whew. First long clear was a very, very rough clear, but I managed to get it done. Whew. I cleared Serpent Temple so very easily, but this was a lot rougher. But oh boy, that was a very good run. Took a lot of damage there, but I'm proud of what I did. My highest damage was that was more than half of, or less than half, sorry, of what I did in the Serpent Temple. But yeah, 112 skulls was very nice. But overall, not the greatest run, but I still managed to pull through and get a clear on it. So yeah, it gives me access to the long version of the other thing, And now I just have to wait to get the option for main weapons. Basically just collect more skulls. But yeah, thank you very much for coming out to the stream tonight. It was a long, long stream. Well, not even that long, 3.5 hours. But I got a lot done, got through all of the basic stuff for Serpent Temple, finished up the basic stuff for Jaguar, and even did a bit of a speed run with that 6:30 run. But yeah, thank you very much. I hope check out my Twitch, check out my YouTube, all that good stuff. Hope you have a great rest of your night.